Hello, travelers. It is I, Alter Delirio. I am alive. um, if you were here for the previous stream, I know I said we would finish it on Sunday. Unfortunately, on Sunday, I started to get a migraine. And how bad was it? Well, you see, I almost blacked out at 4 a.m. in the kitchen. That's how bad my phone is falling. Anyways, there we go. We're good. We're good. We're safe. We're safe. Okay. Anyways, that said, I'm feeling better now. We're good. So yeah, we will do phrase endings today. We should be able to do both the neutral ending and the good ending. Um, we'll try to get the good ending first try. If we don't, I will do the same thing I did with Hawkins and look up a guide on how to get the good ending. But yeah, having said that, the choices for today were pretty easy considering most of them just had Frey showing up. So we will continue. Yay! Sorry, I'm sorry. The second I mentioned I was free this afternoon, Frey asked me to lunch. And then Hawkins did too. After Kerr's round of rock, paper, scissors, we've all made it to the Parfait Club, which surprisingly doesn't seem any less of a night dive at this hour. Let's knock that table right up ahead. If there's one thing I love about lunchtime here, it's the fact that you don't have to hunt for a decent spot. Well, I would hope so, considering it's meant to be, like, mostly for night stuff and not for day stuff, but okay. Sorry. I just wish there was less of a crowd. You'd think most people would have something to do before coming here. Nah, I, for one, am in full support of midday partying. I'm sure people in the world would be happier if they didn't have to feel like they've gotta save the party for later. Besides, if you party now, then you can actually go to sleep later at a decent hour. Which I'm sure must be appealing for certain fossils here who've gotta teach tomorrow. Please call me by my name, Hawkins. Otherwise, I wouldn't get to enjoy the extent of your roasting. The two of them share a sarcastic smile with each other as we take a seat and immediately get straight to looking through the menus. I'm sitting across from Frey, who quietly flips through his menu once, then sets it aside. I know what I want. Do you, though? Well, I guess you must have had something in mind, because this is the fastest I've also seen you ask someone to lunch. Is that a sign? Or, well, maybe if you hadn't let me tag along, then I would have taken it as one. Chuckling to himself, Hawkins returns to looking through the menu, leaving Frey to gaze at me for a moment. Come to think of it, I was surprised how quickly he'd invited me out. For a moment, it almost really felt like today would be the day we'd really come here, just the two of us together. But once he didn't say no to Hawkins' offer, I didn't know what to think. Meeting Frey's gaze, there's an unmistakable warmth in his eyes, but that's the most he'll let me decipher about him for the moment. Thinking about it, that must have been a new record for you, eh, Frey? Maybe 5 seconds? Any faster and I think you'd be getting Alter's hopes up. Frey doesn't say anything, pretending to still be reading the menu. Seeing how his usual tactics aren't working, Hawkins starts scoping out the bar. You know, it just occurred to me that there's going to be a singles night here soon. Might be kind of fun to show up and rustle some feathers, huh? You know my policy when it comes to singles night. Come on. Nobody's asking you to go there and get married on the same day. My hair is in my face. Sometimes all it takes is just stopping by and refilling the tank, and then boom, you're both good for the week. Frey's like completely unamused. He's like, I don't give a fuck. No. What you're actually describing is a gas station, Hawkins, not a fling. I mean, there's still pumping involved. Yeah, no, I'm not having this conversation, especially before lunch. Well, the only one I wouldn't be having to bring singles night up is if, you know, perhaps Maybe you weren't so single yourself anymore? Losing the spotlight, Frey shakes his head at every word. Like I said, I'm not having this conversation. Why not? Is it because it's true? If not, then isn't it my duty as your ride or die to make sure that your love meter is properly being taken care of? If I recall, the times I used to bring you here were some pretty formative nights for your lore. Remember the champagne challenge? When the winner got to kiss the fan? Nope, I think you have the wrong Frey. The one you're thinking about went missing quite a few years ago, and nobody's seen him since. Come on! I'm even willing to say that you beat me fair and square that night. And all just to kiss that fan. The one with the tongue piercing. I have to stop myself from saying a very specific name. Also, hold on. Okay. Sorry, OBS is like, hey, there's a new update and it wants to be finicky as hell. And I'm like, I'm not updating you until after stream. I'm not going through that. What a time. While Hawkins wickedly reminisces, Frey is anything but thrilled by the memory. If anything, he's almost sitting back as if he hardly recalls his past self at all. And here I'm wondering whether he'd done this by his own volition or not. So, tell me, Prince, who is it? Is it another prof at the uni? Even if it was, isn't there something else we could be talking about? But this is fun. Michael's never been one to have a fling, so you're really my only hope for father. Otherwise, it's like hanging out with my grandmothers. Except even they like taking a walk on the wild side. Maybe you should go with them to singles night instead of asking me and Michael. If you dare drag us along, the only thing we'll be doing is playing mahjong and journaling about it later. But the people love that sort of thing. I'm so convinced that you've been eyeballing somebody though, but I just can't tell who. It's not Abigail again, right? Don't ask me that. Alright. If not her, then are you ever going to give me a hint, or am I gonna have to ask Altair here to investigate it for me? Would you, Altair? Me? I think you're the only one who wants to know. Oh? So is it that you already know who it is? Or you don't want to know? I mean, in your journalistic expertise, what kind of a man do you think we're dealing with? Resting on his hands, Frey silently warns that he's ready to tease me for my answer. The second one's funny, but I feel it's a little bit too mean. If I want to get the endings and we don't want to fail. Let's go with the first one. I happen to think that Frey is sexier when he keeps his secrets. Pardon me? People like a little mystery, don't they? So then, why should he have to share anything? I love Frey's face as well. Frey sits back, surprised that I went there, but also quite pleased. At least somebody gets it. Are you sure? I'm gonna give Altair the benefit of the doubt here, but both Michael and I know you keeping secrets is a code red. Anytime you don't post online either. I don't know if people are thinking that it's all because you're trying to be mysterious. I think they secretly know that you don't know how to upload anything. Oh, Grandpa. I still don't see the point of sharing everything I eat. More importantly, I don't want to give anybody a semblance of a routine. You see, if I post what I ate for 5 days in a row, then suddenly you don't, then I'm about to get a comment that says, "Don't you eat anymore?" Tell me that hasn't happened before to you when you post yourself with another friend, Hawkins. I get it a lot. I'll post myself with Clementine, then some weeks go by and I'll have people asking if we're not friends anymore just because I wasn't at one of her concerts. Avant-garde singer, okay. Hence why I don't see the point of posting who I'm even dating if people are going to be asking non-stop. Object permanence, I guess. I have terrible object permanence, but that's because I have ADHD. I hate it when you have a point, you know. Although, don't think I'm about to gloss over the fact that Altair called you sexy just now. Hey, no. I already romanced you once. Back off. What's that about, huh? Looking between us, Hawkins snickers. Suspicious. Very, very suspicious. On that note, I'm going to go get our drinks. Aren't we going to order food too? I don't even know if the Parfait has a lunch menu. But they do have the lunch cocktail specials. Laughing to himself, Hawkins prances over to the bar, leaving me and Frey to linger upon the looming question between us. Once Hawkins is fully out of sight, Frey can no longer hold back his amusement. I wonder if I should feel bad for wanting to keep him in the dark for as long as possible. How easy is it to keep things from him? It depends on what it is. For example, I was never going to be able to trick him and Michael into thinking I'd actually quit my job for Stellifier. If they already were trying to find me on campus, I know they'd definitely catch on. But for other things... Frey slips his hand under the table, searching for mine. He then gently runs his thumb along them, waiting for my expression to soften for him. I'd rather keep anybody else on a need-to-know basis. We let our fingers delicately play with each other while both trying to maintain our composure. Still, there's no denying how pleased he gets whenever I run my own thumb along his, only for him to return the touch. He's sneaky, that's for sure. But that's what he likes, doesn't he? He might not always say the most, but his actions will speak louder than words. That's what's always made Frey so unique. Spotting Hawkins still at the bar, we both shift as close as we can. In a minute now, we'll have to part and assume our usual roles, until who knows when. Suddenly, I hear someone come up to our table. And it's definitely not Hawkins. I take one look, and instantly regret doing so. Oh my god, I wish it was fucking Abigail! It would take 5 Abigails over 1 Chris. Fuck this dude. Oh my god. Oh, now this is interesting. I don't think I've seen you here at the Buffet Club at this hour, Frey. Aren't you usually a regular with the night crowd? I can feel Frey's hand slipping from me, albeit reluctantly. At the last second, however, he grasps my hand once more in a protective hold. We both keep us I lasted 14 minutes before I started to fail at talking. We both keep a straight face on as Chris looms between us, trying to assess the scene. I'm not interrupting an interview, am I? I didn't think most journalists would be that crass to be holding one here either, let alone go day drinking with their subjects. I don't know what you're seeing, but there aren't any drinks here on this table. Maybe not now, but I'm sure once you're through with him, you sure will. Trust me, whatever he says for an interview should be checked by at least 3 other sources. I'll even give you my number if you ever need someone to corroborate. Absolutely the fuck not. I'm burning that shit in front of him. He offers me his card, but Frey's hands show no signs of letting go. Not that I even want him to. Instead, I resolve to politely shake my head at Chris. Thank you for the offer, but I've got a handle on things. Or more like Frey does at the moment. Yeah, he sure does have a handle, okay. Chris tries to hold back his surprise as he takes his card back by directing his glance at Frey instead. Esta la mierda, de verdad. Lo odio este tío. No puedo con él. I really hope you'll tell him everything this time. This one looks too nice for you, and he probably doesn't even know what he's getting into. That's kind of ironic for a reporter, am I right? Just shut up and leave already, especially if you're going to talk about him that way. It's not like you haven't felt the need to come up to me in 10 years, so don't start now. Why don't you just leave? You were the one who left before, so why come back now? Lo necesito muerto. Necesito muerto, lo necesito muerto. Hostia puta. See, okay, my thoughts are, do I like Abigail? No. But do I understand stand her as a character and therefore I do not hate her completely? Yes. Like, I think she's pretty well written from what we have seen. We see more of Abigail in Hawkins Root for anyone who wants more context. Chris, on the other hand, I wouldn't even put him in a blender or throw him off a cliff in Minecraft. Because I just feel that would be rude to the blender and the cliff in Minecraft. You know? Those are my thoughts on him. Like, I wouldn't even do anything because I feel like anything I use would be mean and rude to the thing I use, you know? That's how much I cannot stand him. So you could charm your way through more interviews and tell them what a poor little victim of fate you were being signed to my dad's company. Oh my god. And you used to say that I was the one out of touch. You are! You are. You're gonna be so out of touch, I'm gonna throw you into space. Without a suit. Oh my god. He's pissing me off. We just started. He's pissing me off. You see that, Altair? You still think you don't need another source to back his words up? Hey, if anybody's gonna back him up, it's me. All of a sudden, Hawkins runs between us and Chris. Hi, Hawkins! Sorry, not his rude. Not his rude. Not his rude. You wanna say all that again, bro? We're gonna need a quote from you once everybody knows you're the one having a melty over the past. If Frey so much as breezes, here comes Chris crying about it to his sing-song daddy. It was Hawkins in the way. Chris still aims his contempt at Frey. I've always thought it was weird how you two have stuck through as friends, you know. At least between you and me, we can agree to hate each other. But what does it say about you if you're still best buds with the guy who stole not one but two of your girlfriends? Lo mato. Some women you've picked. They say 3 times the charm, huh? Both Hawkins and Frey go silent, leaving Chris to realize he's done his damage for the day. Taking his leave, he winks in my direction before I can whip my head away. Ew. Gross. Even once he's gone, neither of the other two can bring themselves to say anything yet. Yikes. I think it's safe to say there's a reason why Stellifier hates talking about Chris. At first, I thought it'd be a lot less obvious, but Chris doesn't even hold back when it comes to Frey. And with what he said about Hawkins... Finally, I noticed Hawkins tilting into his seat to catch Frey's attention. Hey, you know he's always been an idiot. This isn't news. That's why he's got to spew about old things, because he's got nothing new on us. You know that, right? I know. Despite their words, they both have lost their familiar warmth from earlier, even when one of them was towing the line with the other. Tell you what. Let's actually go get lunch someplace else. There's a few spots down the block we could try, just to give the club a break. Whatever happened to our drinks anyway? I got too into catching up with my old coworkers since they're working my old schedule at the bar. I was about to give them my order when I saw the Grim Reaper looming over your shoulder, so I booked it. Now I'm glad that I did, for more reasons than one. So, we might as well take it as a sign to hit up someplace else for the while. I'd say I'd like to. My cat is... Okay, I have to move my water bottle out of the way because otherwise she will not... What are you doing? ¿Se puede saber qué haces? No puedes saltar como un gato normal. What did you knock down? What did you even knock down, bro? Okay, 1 second. The beast wishes to be released. Okay, the beast has been released. I'd say I'd like to, but I honestly think I should head back now. I'll just make something at home. What? I said you were on a mission today. We all still gotta eat something. I mean, You two don't have to cancel on my part, but I really should go at least try to finish my grading. We're already going to have less free time as it is. What's your plan, Altair? I'm going with the second option. Well, I wanted to finish my date with you. Frey is the first to pick up the sarcasm in my voice, while Hawkins starts to stare me down in sheer surprise. Wait, hold on. Oh, Hawkins, my baby. My silly. Did you say what I think you just said? No, you're both just messing with me, right? We very well could be. Who knows, right? Ugh, this is why I hate it when you keep secrets from me. I've got my wires crossed into thinking you're both bluffing. Unless you're both not. Together, both Frey and I let go of each other from under the table right as Hawkins tries to get a better look at us. Sitting back in his seat, Frey goes back to resting his face against his hand. Well, what do you think? All I can think right now is that I definitely need a drink. If you're gonna go now, Frey, then you might as well spare yourself from the amount of speculation I'm gonna be doing once you're gone. Unless you'll just tell me once and for all if you two are... After all that, do you really think we would? How about you go get that drink, and Altair and I will go pick up lunch and bring it back here for all of us. Ah, so what happened to grading papers? Deny all you can, but I'm gonna suspect that a certain reporter had something to do with changing your mind. The two share a dark laugh before Hawkins heads to the bar. Meanwhile, Frey and I head for the exit. Once we're outside, Frey lets out a long sigh of relief. God, sometimes I need a reminder that there's more beyond this bubble. He then stares down at my hand before gently taking it in his. And then here's my reminder. For a moment, we look around us, both thinking the same thing. He's not wearing much of a disguise, but these streets are pretty quiet right now. Frey slips our hands together in his pocket as we start walking. I'm sorry for what happened back there. Yippee! Hi, Zephyr. You're on your actual account this time. Hi. You missed, you might have missed out on Chris, which honestly I think is a blessing if you missed him. I think if you didn't miss Chris, that's a blessing actually. So you should be glad you missed him. Oh my god, I can't stand him. I hate him. I hate him so much. Every time I think I'm going to keep you away from seeing something you shouldn't, it all comes in full force. Are you still talking about you and Chris, or about you and Hawkins? The latter. Like Hawkins said, Chris pretty much hasn't changed from when we first knew him. Except he used to flatter us left and right at the beginning, but now we know why. But what he said about me and Hawkins, there's a lot more to it than that. Can't help but think you might be having your own doubts right now. Before we reach the next block, I stop in my tracks. Altair? Why would I be doubting you, Frey? Well, I thought... You've been around me and Hawkins long enough to know that, for as different or chaotic as it is at times, he's still one of my best friends. But I'm also well aware of what people might think if they ever boiled our friendship down to the same assumptions Chris has of us. The thing is, he doesn't even know half of it. For the other half he does know, he instigated it, or he's meddled into it like he's done with trying to get Abigail to talk to him about it. My god. So, what Chris mentioned is really true. In a way, yes. But don't think that just because I've forgiven Hawkins for those times doesn't mean I've forgotten anything. We should. But also, I feel like it would be too mean to like anything we used against him. You know, like I'm so sorry for dirtying you with this dude's existence. Like I'm so sorry for even bringing you close to this dude. We should just throw him into space. Actually, no, that would be dirtying the space. That's not good. We need to make sure we don't do that. How do we get rid of him in a way that's like actually good? Because everything we use, we just dirty it. I should continue. All of this in Minecraft, by the way, YouTube. All of this is in Minecraft. If anything, I can tell that by taking a chance on him this time around, he knows that I'm willing to be nuanced about this. When it also comes to Abigail, I don't even think that situation represents anybody in the best light. It's not even fair to her, nor to Hawkins, nor even to me. And... yeah, we should do that. And I was supposed to be her safer choice, whatever that means. Oh my god, sorry, my nose is so itchy. I can hear the pain in his voice as he then looks back at our hands in his pocket. The only reason why I'm telling you all this is because I don't know what you might be thinking of me right now, but I'll do just about anything to make sure you don't think I'd be willing to put you in that kind of danger or heartbreak. I'm gonna go with the second option because I think it's cute. The only danger here is losing you. Frey, you don't owe me every explanation over your past. Same goes with you and Hawkins. And you're willing to be okay with these things? Well, because I trust you. We both know the risk is what we're doing, so that's all we can do, right? Frey blinks back at me as if this is the first time in his life that he's ever heard this before. I trust you too, Altair. It's why I'm not trying to sugarcoat it for you about Chris telling some of the truths. I made some mistakes then. Oh, my spine. Especially in situations where I didn't know how to reject someone. If anything, I think that I've just learned to accept scrutiny coming from every corner, so I just try to numb through it. But then, when I actually feel this way, I just want these feelings to be mine. I don't want them broadcasted out into the world. Not when everyone seems to think they know my past. They think they know my friends, even if they're complicated. They think they know who I should be with, even if I insist I'll never want to tell them. They even think that they know what's best for my future when even I don't know right now. Frey's voice rings off his pain and frustration, and most of all, fear. It's a kind of fear that you don't even want to admit to, not even to the people closest to you. But for him to be surprised by how understanding I'm trying to be, that says how little kindness he's probably received before. With my hand still in his pocket, I reach up to caress his face with the other. Wait. You don't want me to... It's not that, it's so I can do this. Oh! At once, Frey pulls up away from the block, angling us away into one of the streets, also that he can caress down my face first. You say I want to protect you, but look at me. You still trust me, even with that fact that I might break my own promise? Now in his arms, I can reach back to trace my fingers along his lips. It's almost surreal how magnetic this moment is, but that has to be a sign, right? Frey, if we're both willing to make the exception here, then it shouldn't just be on you to protect me. We both can protect each other, and ourselves. That's why I need you to trust me. With words like that, how can I not trust you? Just this once. I don't care who's watching. Reaching his limit, Frey swoops in and captures me in a fiery kiss without a care of who's watching. I cling to him with a gasp, and it's as if this is the only thing that matters in this world. With how much he keeps trying to convince me that he's anything but special, there's no way I could be sharing this with anybody else right now. This risk, this haste, this passion. It really is all his own. I cannot tell why he doesn't want anybody else to know. Reading my lips, Frey gives me a gentle smile before placing a kiss upon my nose. I do mean what I say about wanting to protect you. So if we want to make this work, we know what we have to do, right? You know I do, Frey. Frey can't resist holding me close one more time before we have to pull away. Even as he pulls me to his chest, I can see him scanning across the streets. Until he soon returns to embracing the one secret he wants nothing more than to keep safe. Me. Me! Oh, my Pookie. Okay. Let's see what new things we have unlocked. Oh, his proud! Ooh. Oh, he's... I think my favorite one's his, like, surprise face. I think it's cute. We have... Yes, we have a message. Okay.
Hey there, babe. I'm driving, but to be honest, well, I just can't stop thinking about you, so I just wanted to say hi.
Hi!
What's on your schedule next? I hope I'll see you soon.
I'm not sure, but will you miss me?
Oh, my little journalist. I wish I could be next to you right now.
Okay. Sorry, I keep forgetting the voice actors for them sound like that. It keeps like surprising me. Okay, time to do this and we will get thrown into the ending. Let's hope I get the good ending first try, because then I just have to choose the wrong answers to get the neutral ending. After taking the back entrance and heading up the 7th floor, I'm finally to the loft. The entire way I've been looking over my shoulder, but to my relief, it's quiet around these parts today. Well, Frey did say that the others were supposed to be out today, but let's see if that's really the case. At once I knock on the door, and no one answers. Huh. So, is he really not here then? Could he have just gone to the Buffet Clubs with Hawkins instead? I check my phone hoping to see a missed update, but there's nothing. Frey, are you asleep? I'm tempted to knock again until I hear movement from the other side of the door. After more shuffling, Frey pushes the door open. Hey, there you are. For a second there I said, whoa! Before I can say anything, he takes me by the hand and drags me straight inside. My feet skid across the floor before catching onto the rug, and I collide into him. Catching me by the waist, Frey presses me to his chest and carries me towards the couch instead. Wait here for a second, alright? After gently setting me down, Frey strides over to the door once more. I watch as he takes a firm look out into the hallway, his eyes grazing like a hawk's before locking the door shut. There. Immediately, he returns to capture me back into his arms and with a kiss to my head. Sorry about that, but we can't take chances. Especially if you're with me. You don't have to tell me twice. That said, there's no one else here, right? It's just us, but don't think they didn't try to leave later. Hawkins especially kept stalling to the point I almost called Michael to drag him away. And I remember that Michael can't go to the Buffet Club today. You think Hawkins knows? If he does, then I'm surprised he's kept it to himself for that long. At least, that's what I've been telling myself. Holding back a sigh, Frey takes me with him towards the kitchen in search of refreshments. His hand reaches for the wine before glancing over at me. What is it? I'm getting a sense. My first thought is to look around the room, wondering if someone's about to barge in on us. But instead, Frey sets the wine aside and reaches for the limoncello under the cabinet instead. You're giving me your favorite? If my reading's off, you can tell me, so... But seeing that look in your eyes, I can tell you're in the mood for something bright. know he's... Frey holds back a grin as he tops the glass with a single lemon wedge before offering it to me. Besides, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't drawn to bright things myself. As I take the glass, his fingers gently graze mine. And at once, he can't resist bringing them to his lips. Don't think I don't know what it took you to come all this way here. I might as well make it worthwhile for you from the start. How much time do you think we have? Who knows, really. Still, considering I used both locks on the door this time, at least we'll get a warning. You don't need to worry about anything, though. Hawkins has a set going on at the Parfait Club tonight, so he's bound to stick around there till past midnight. Even then, that'd still be an early night for him, especially before a gig. And Michael? Family dinner. Company dinner, actually. At least that's what they call them. The lines blur more than they should have to deal with. You think they're doing alright? I'm hoping so. They left even sooner than Hawkins, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up stopping at the Parfait before coming home either. Wouldn't be the first time after visiting the family estate. Practically on brand for their family to test their patience at this point. But talking to them tonight was high on their priority list before the big night. What about you? I'm not keeping you away from something by drinking all of your limoncello here, am I? Do you really think there's anything higher priority than you today? Just so you know, I'm planning on giving you more than just a tour of the kitchen. His grin leaves me Okay, Frey. His grin lives... His grin... God, fuck. His grin leaves me speechless as Frey reaches to take a sip of my glass. You can check it for yourself, but you really are the only thing on my list. I shouldn't be making this too easy for you, yeah. I shouldn't be making this too easy for you. Oh? You were hoping you'd have to hide behind furniture to find me first? No, I wonder whether I shouldn't have sent the guys away so soon. At least then, I could have given you an obstacle course. I was thinking more that I should be giving you the obstacle course. To my surprise, Frey's smile only grows as he leans into me. His eyes follow mine like a pendulum, bringing me into their trance. If that's what you want, then what happens when time runs out for us? We didn't come all this way so we could deprive ourselves. At least coming here, we're breaking a cycle. Okay. Besides, it's easier when we both want the same thing. And right now, you can't tell me we both don't want the same thing. Frey's hand soon moves towards my arm, beckoning me towards him. I can already feel him ready to take me in his arms again, his arms making their way to my waist. As together, we find ourselves back on that couch. That intense gaze. I could say I know what's on his mind, but his body is fighting back to give me a better hint. But that's what he wants, isn't it? To bring me to that edge, to want him. As if reading my mind, Frey trails his lips over to my ear, nipping softly. Altair, you already want me. You don't have to say with words what I already know. In fact, it's better if we just let our lips find other ways to say it. Okay. Together, we begin to move in closer. So close that I can already feel his warm breath upon my lips, and his fingers moving along my neck, holding me in place. With just a single parting of my lips, I'll soon have his taste upon me again. Close your eyes. And just let me... Oh, all of a sudden, there's a banging on the door. God, not now! The two of us jump apart as the banging only gets louder. Without wasting time, Frey pulls me behind him, keeping my hand tight in his. It's probably Hawkins. Isn't he supposed to be doing his set? That's what I thought, but... Go to my room. At least I'll know you're safe there. Turning to me, he pulls me in for a quick kiss to my head before prodding me towards the hall. Just stay there until I can get him out of there fast, alright? Promise I'll tell you once the coast is clear. The urgency in his voice is enough alone to make me rush straight for his room. At the same time, I can't help but keep a crack of the door open, hoping I'll catch the signal myself. If Hawkins is the one banging this hard on the door, he's got to have forgotten something behind for his show. Hawkins is like, I don't care if you've already done my route. I want attention as well. I want attention. Give me attention. I notice Hawkins' room right across from Frey's, but the lights are off. Just then, I hear Frey finally click the locks open. Only that, it's not Hawkins' voice who's greeting Frey at the door. Wait, what are you doing here? You didn't think I'd know? Oh. Abigail, I complimented you for like a second there earlier because Chris was pissing me off. Don't make me regret it. Do not make me regret it. Until I hear Frey stop in his tracks, followed by some shuffling and heels clapping inside. Don't tell me she followed me all the way up here. I could have sworn I double-checked. I finally hear the door close, only that now someone's clinking glasses at the minibar. Wait, what is Abigail doing here? Hey, not that one. Drink one of Hawkins' stuff if you want something. You still didn't answer my first question either. Don't act like you don't know me. As soon as I saw Hawkins at the buffet pre-gaming alone, I figured Michael was on a damage control with their parents. So of course I would make it easier for you to stay here wallowing in the dark as usual. Actually, he was about to get some fun. Don't you ever get tired of punishing yourself, Frey? Do you mind? Do you mind trying to not act like you know him better than he knows himself? Well, it's either that or I let other people do it for me. Frankly, it always makes me want to choose the former. For your information though, I'm not wallowing here. Of course you aren't, now that I'm here. Girl, get out! I'm surprised I managed to free up this hour so last minute. Girl, get out! But seeing that you've already started drinking alone, I'd say it's well worth the sacrifice. I take back everything I said about her. I take it back every nice thing I said about her. I take it back. I don't care. I hate her. I hate her. I can't stand her. I hear her shuffling now coming from the couch, yet I can only see so much from here. Not unless I open more of his door. As it is already, it doesn't sound like Abigail followed me here after all, but still. As Abigail starts talking once more, I manage to push the door open another inch. So Frey, what's on tonight's menu? Me! So leave! Should we order something before you get back to more wallowing, or do you just want to skip straight to the part where I remind you that you're really capable of? Either way, I'm hungry for both in whichever order you like. Abigail, seriously, go home. Go to the buffet, or whatever else you're into now. I never asked you to come here. How can you say that? I came here all this way for you, Frey. You think I haven't forgotten how you get before a concert? Honestly, it's a miracle I remembered how much coaxing you'd needed to make it backstage during the first live we did together. Back then, it was words of encouragement that did the trick for you, but I'm sure I can give you something better now. If only I'd known that you were paying that much attention back then. And what? Let you suffer alone? You're definitely not going to be getting this kind of lip service out of any fan again, that's for sure. Can I just, like, make a noise in the bedroom so she gets the hint and fucking leaves? No, that probably would put him in a bad spot. I don't want to do that to Frey. Well, can she leave? I said that's what made this all work between us. It did. A long time ago. You mean until you began acting as if sleeping with you was some act of conspiracy? If the press had ever found out, you do know that they would have just acknowledged you as a former idol, right? An idol dating a former idol. People wouldn't have said no to it. It could have brought you back into the conversation. Oh, she's pissing me off so bad. Oh, I can't stand her. I can't stand her. Oh, I hate her. Oh, she's pissing me off so hard. Oh, I hate her. Stellifier's name wasn't that damaged for you to have tried to get something back from it. That's not the point. You're forgetting one crucial thing. What? That you wouldn't touch me after I told you I wasn't going to quit music like you? No, how about this thing that you were using him as a fucking rebound, you bitch? May I remind you, I'd stopped once I found out about Hawkins. My man. Suddenly, there's an eerie silence. Kind where the anger is so palpable that I can feel it emanating from all the way to this room. No denying the pain in Frey's voice right now. How long must he been holding this back for even Abigail to go quiet? Yeah! Yeah! Go fuck yourself! Fuck yourself! Shifting against the door, I finally catch a peek of them. Frey is standing away from the couch while Abigail coldly sips at her drink. There's ice in her eyes and she's ready to hurl it at him. You can't hold that against me. Not anymore. If you hadn't pulled away when you did, then I wouldn't have to gone back to him. You're the one who broke up with him. You broke up with Frey the moment Hawkins was back in the country. I played Hawkins' route. I know this for a fact. Somehow, I don't think that had ever been the plan. Of course you don't. Now that I know you're heartless, it makes all the sense in the world why even I couldn't make you melt when I had you. No puedo con ella, no puedo, no puedo, no puedo, no puedo. Es que no puedo, no puedo. No, no puedo. No puedo, 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 no puedo. No, 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 no. I can't stand her. I cannot stand her. I can't fucking stand her. I take every nice thing I said before. I fucking hate her. I can't stand. List of people I hate: Chris, Abigail. That's it. Cannot stand either of them for different reasons. Hell, if anything, I said earlier I hated Chris on a principle level because he's a piece of shit. But and I said like, oh, I can kind of understand Abigail and stuff like that. But this specific part? Oh no, this specific part I'm like, no, you don't say that as like, no, you're just a terrible person. You're just a terrible piece of shit. I'm starting to realize that you don't have it in you to show mercy, let alone make room for love that isn't 3 feet shallow. I'm sorry. Is she seriously blaming Frey for not wanting her? Even when Frey like realized that he was just a rebound and she was just waiting out on Hawkins? And she's putting the blame on him. I can't do this. Maybe that's my real failure. That I didn't fall for you before you'd run off with that crazy fan and threw everything away. Abigail, don't you understand? I never asked you to try to save me. Every mistake I made back then, they were all mine and just that. The way I felt after Stellifier was the only thing I had to my damn name then. It was the only thing they let me take back with me. So don't you dare think you can claim it from me. Not now, not then, never. I was never yours to fix. Of course you weren't, but don't think anybody else can help you either. There's only so many of us, Frey, and only one of me. I see her rise from the couch towards him, ready to place a hand on his shoulder. Slap her hand away, slap her hand away. As she does, Frey doesn't flinch, yet he can't bring himself to look her in the eye. It's not until she guides him to her with a finger that he gazes upon her with a hollow look. Frey, you can't tell me you don't miss me. That you don't miss this. Back away from him! Get the fuck away from him! Would it help if I said it first? For a moment, Frey tilts his head towards her, and then eager Abigail soon starts bringing her lips to his. Yet, all of a sudden, he swiftly slips from her grasp and escapes her at the last second. No. You can't be serious. Frey, can you at least just... I said no. It takes Abigail a complete minute before she finally reacts. Even then, she can barely hold back from pouting. She can't even respect. I'm so mad. I can't say what. I'm so mad. I cannot articulate the words I want to say. Fine then. Off to the parfait I'm supposed to go then, right? I just hope that one day you'll finally wake up and realize how much I was willing to give you, even when you didn't think you deserved it, when you thought you'd failed as an idol. Oh my god. I need a moment to calm down. I actually need a moment to calm down. I'm sorry. She pisses me off so hard. Holy shit. She got mad at him because he rejected her. Because he said no. Hey. If anyone ever gets mad at you for saying no to them and tries to like guilt trip you like she's doing right now, you get that motherfucker away from you stat. You block their entire life away from you, okay? That's a bad person. This is a red flag. This is what we call a red flag in the industry, okay? Okay. Most of all, when you thought you failed as a human being. Exactly, like, motherfucker, get the fuck away. Because as I see it now, the chances of anybody coming all this way like I did today isn't something worth holding my breath for. I like that we're just in Frey's room. Standing man emoji, like, hi. Good, because I don't need you to. Sure. Setting the glass aside, Abigail rises from the couch and looks in my direction. I swiftly pull my head back, yet from the slivers through the door, I notice a smile grace her lips. Just remember, Frey, if you don't end up spending the rest of the day alone, nobody else but me can ever understand you. Not when you refuse to let anybody else in, nor do any of them even have an inkling of what this business does to our souls. I need her gone. I need her gone. With one last glare, Abigail slams the door behind her. I quietly pulled myself up as I noticed Frey ceasing at the door, almost as if he's waiting for her to return. He glares at the door one last time before turning around. Oh. And at once his gaze softens upon mine. You heard everything, didn't you? Wouldn't you have to? That's exactly why I know you did. Trust me when I say, though, that I never planned for her to come here. I sort of got that when you told her to go home at least 3 times. Funny enough, it usually takes her more time than that on a usual night. Oh, so this is a repeat offense. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm calm. I'm so calm. I'm super fucking calm. I'm so calm, guys. I swear, I'm so calm. I'm so calm. Frey gives into it. Sorry. Frey gives into a sigh. Here I thought keeping Hawkins and Michael away was going to be the hard part. Enter Abigail. Did you always let her enter? There was a time when it felt like it was the safest thing to do. Not for my sake, but for hers. I'd be lying if I didn't say we each had our mutual rotation of meltdowns we didn't want management catching on to. I just wish I'd known she'd think to come by today. Now I'm left to figure out what to say to make you stay. Oh, you can miss me. I'm not fucking leaving because of that bitch. The hell? What are you talking about? You've already convinced me. Do I want to know which part of that gruesome talk won you over? Maybe it was the part where you didn't let her do this. Moving towards him, my lips begin searching for his. Nestling me back, Frey instinctively begins pulling me back into his arms. My Pookie. I hate her. He shields me as if he's never letting go. And with how warm he is right now, I just might not want him to. God, no, I really can't let you leave. Not when this feels perfect. Or at least... Nestling me once more, Frey soothes me into a kiss. The moment our lips meet, he picks me up against him. I'm okay. Our bodies are pressed so firmly to each other that I can feel every muscle of his quivering from the touch of her lips. God, can you see what you're doing to me? I don't care what anyone says. There's no way I can be in the dark when you're my light. Oh. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Swooping in once more, Frey has me under his spell. The two of us begin kissing our ways through each room, never knowing when we'll stop. This dance only becomes even more enticing the moment he carries me straight into his room. Do you still want this? He could be back any minute now. Or even her. He's like, listen, never let a bitch ruin your night, okay? Never let a bitch ruin your perfect little night with your boyfriend, okay? Neither of those rigs seem to be slowing you down. Well, I've double locked that door shut. And if someone still has the audacity to bang on it, I'm still not leaving this room until you're mine. I'm gonna go with the first one. Well, I'm glad. Because that makes two of us. I was never planning on leaving you here alone. Now you're just giving me more reasons to be true and wild for you. With a wicked smirk, Frey presses several kisses. I'm choking on my words. With a wicked smirk, Frey presses several kisses down my face, claiming me with each one. Each time I make a sound, he's quick to place another kiss right on the same spot. What I do to hold you like this every morning and night. I'm this close to asking management to let me perform while keeping you in my arms like this. You really think it'll improve your performance? Honestly, does it matter? I can't think of how it'll feel right now once I have to see you go. If time could stand still, then maybe. Even then, I'd want this again and again. I don't care if you don't understand this, Altair. But you'd think with the places I've gone and the experiences I've had, I'd had felt this kind of warmth before. But up until just moments ago, I thought it was a mirage like most things here. But when I kiss you like this, Frey presses his lips to mine, savoring each second. I feel alive. That's how I know I need you. Just as much as you need me. Welcoming another kiss, Frey takes my hand and lays it flat upon his chest. His heartbeat is within my grasp while he reveals the rest of his body to me. Yet before I can utter a single word, he already has me buried into his arms all over again. Say it with me. My cat just climbed the door outside. I just heard her climb the door. You need this from me. You want this from me. And I know that because not just anyone has shown their heart to me the way you have already. Not just with our bodies, but in your words, in your soul. In his gaze once more, I let him take me in for another kiss. When once again, there's a knock on the door. Oh my god. Stop blocking us. Don't move. Frey, it's okay if you want to go check. It's Hawkins or Michael, they both have keys. Otherwise, that door is staying locked. Frey tries to bring me back down to the bed, yet the knocking starts up again. Much as I want to ignore it, I pull back for a moment. Frey. Frey's like, I don't wanna. Alright, come with me. Taking me firmly by the hand, Frey fearlessly strides over to the door. seeing him like this makes me not want to hide. So if it's really Abigail who's back, then... Undoing the locks, Frey pushes the door open. But there's nobody there. Hello? Who's out there? The two of us gaze up on the empty hallway, waiting for someone to appear. But the only thing either of us sense is a chill in the air. They have to still be watching. If they are, I hope they realize I can bring chaos too. But right now, it's warmth that you need from me. With a hand ready to shut the door, Frey nestles me back into his arms. Here's where it's safer anyway. Looking once more into the hallway, Frey slams the door shut. Oh, we're on to the endings part. Okay. Okay, let's pray I get the good ending, so when we do the neutral ending, I just have to randomly pick stuff. I wasn't planning on coming by to the studio today, but I somehow managed to change everything in my schedule to make it happen. I'm glad I did. Seeing them all together on the sofa, I can't help but think back to how far they've come. And I don't mean just from this phase, but in the last. To think that I would be watching Frey truly coming into his own and ascending the throne is one thing. But to see this new side of him, this sparkling, glimmering window to his soul, has truly been nothing short of a miracle. Waiting in bated breath behind them, I watch as Arden makes his way before them and kicks things off with a daring look. You all know why you're here, right? Do you remember where this all began? Of course we do. Had I not gone broke overseas, I wouldn't have ended up at Michael's doorstep. And then from there, we wouldn't have ended up on Frey's. Funny how that works, huh? Well, it's a story for the ages. It's technically the wrong answer. Y'all never just met by total coincidence. Anybody who's ever listened to your recording sessions can tell you that. You're all here because you keep on sharing the same dream. Instead of wandering around this world alone, you all found each other in the moment you needed it the most. And from what Lorelei and I have been hearing coming out of you three lately, finding each other has been the best thing that could have ever happened to all of you, and anyone who'll be tuning in a couple nights from now. Maybe it's the new dad in me that's suddenly in the mood for telling you all how proud I am for all three of you. I might have not been around as much in the past, but I'd be crushed if I'd missed the chance to see you three pull this all together in a short time. That said, we still do think that there's a lot of odds against you, but there's a silver lining. Which is that there's plenty of good things on your side, and they could change everything. And I mean everything. We all know here that Stellifier was never supposed to be some one-off project. 1 second, my cat is demanding entrance. The beast is here. Hey, Pierres. ¿Qué? ¿Y? ¿Ya? Pero este no es stream, ¿sabes? Este es el mío, no el tuyo. Lo sabes, ¿verdad? No es el tuyo. Es el mío. She's like, I don't care. I'm the one who people come to see, actually, not you. People come to watch me. I don't know what the fuck she's up to. She just... Oh, she's gonna mess up my bed. I think she is. Okay. Well, as long as she doesn't make a ton of noise. So, if you play your cards right, that's exactly what'll be waiting for you in the wings. Oh, she's here. ¿Te importa? Oye. ¿Importa? That's only for strategic... My other cat at the door as well. Is that why she's... I see my other cat is. Hold on, the beasts. the moment I open the door, she just runs out, attacks her sister on side, and keeps running. Girl, do you mind being nice to your sister, please? Like, please. She just came to see what you were doing in here, and the first thing you do is just hit her. Anyways, let's get the Frey endings. That's only if we're strategic. That's only if we're strategic about this, isn't it? Yes, and yes. H20 has a strategy for U3, and it's been doing what it does. I mean, who doesn't want to see if U3 will make it through? The real test is going to be once U3 figure out which legacy you're going to leave on stage after that night. Will it be to remind people of the Stellifier they knew and loved, or of the one who's ready to show them what it means to fall in love again? And you know, some people do like the thrill of rediscovering love. You can say that again. The art of seduction is right up my alley. As for these two, I wonder if I should have spent more time fixing them up with dates to get those creative juices going. I'm pretty sure my juices are doing fine, Hawkins. Maybe they are, but I'll believe it when I see them finally come alive. I'm sure we all will for each of you. Going up on stage at the Musica Prix is a beast to survive through in itself. At the risk of not getting too sappy though, let's wrap this up now. I'm sure I'll have more dadisms ready by the time we're all backstage. That'll only be after you've done with your plot performing with Soteria, right? You've got it. You'll see then what a stereo are going to cause, and I'm glad I'll be there to see it. I'm sure Taylor will too. The four of them return to me as I'm slowly taking in the moment, each imparting a smile. Little do they know that they've already been changing lives again, and some more than others. As I turn to Frey, his gaze secretly softens in my direction before they start getting ready to see Warden off. Made me proud, all of you. And Frey? Yes? Leaning in, Arden gives him a brotherly pat on the back before whispering into his ear. This world is waiting for you again. It'll be like you never left, but better, alright? But this time, you're clearly not alone. When he says that, Frey stares over to me. Frey, I hope you're listening to Warden, because he's right. For a moment, he gives me a small smile before turning to each of his friends, who are busy tidying up the studio for the night. Once Arden heads off, the trio exchange a sigh of relief. Well, what do we think? I'm pretty sure Arden just said that we already have this in the bag. Well, I felt it too. I don't want to be getting too ahead of myself. He said that anything could change, so we better stay disciplined. I sure will. That's why I'm trying to get all of my antics out of my system tonight, rather than the night before the concert. You're going out tonight? I sure am. You'll probably catch me coming back tomorrow. Some of my mates have arrived before the concert, so I wanted to give them the grand city tour tonight before we've got the last tech rehearsal on. You think that you two can handle missing me for a night? At this point, it's customary. Although, I was already planning on seeing my parents for the evening. Knowing them, they'll also ask me to stay overnight. And all because our loft doesn't have an indoor spa. So, you'll also be gone for tonight? Oh no, we're breaking your heart, Prince. And here I thought you'd just be filling tonight with grading papers as usual. My hands are cold. They're very cold. This room is very cold. Unless you want to come along with me and the boys tonight? Well, honestly, I'll think I'll do better after a quiet night. Maybe I will just grade papers and turn in early. You might as well catch up on sleep, Frey. Why is my nose itchy again? I'm still in awe of how you've been able to manage the schedule right up to the concert. Do you still have a full week ahead? Sort of. I did tell them that I needed to just stick to one class this week and a shorter club meeting. Good. Well, soon enough, you'll be calling the studio your one and only home. I can already imagine how busy they'll be keeping us starting the Monday right after. In the meantime, this is why we better make the most of this night. So, you go enjoy your oat bran and bedtime before 6. Or why not live a little and make it 8 instead? And Michael, send your regards to your mother for me. Only my mother? I mean, you two are most welcome to join the festivities going on at the buffet tonight too. If either of you need a ride, I've even got my bike. Michael's not amused. I'll be seeing you tomorrow, Hawkins. She's a beast. Oh my god, hold on. She wants to be let back inside. If I don't do this, she's gonna start yelling. ¿Qué haga? ¿Y eso no somos de loca? ¿En serio? ¿En serio? Okay, both cats are inside my room now. And unfortunately for both of them, they will be staying inside of here until stream ends. Because I guess this fucking cat came in, was like, ooh, yes, open the door for me. And I was like, okay, here you are. And I closed the door again, and then she was like, no. I went out again, and I'm like, okay, you know what? You're both staying in here until we're done with stream. And then you can do whatever you want. See you as well, Frey and Altair. You behave, Prince. No inviting Abigail out to play either. Why would you mention her? Nope, I definitely won't be asking Abigail. As soon as the door closes, Frey swoops in and takes me into his arms. This cat... She sat on my hand. Oye, de verdad. Oye, de verdad. Since tonight, all I want to do is be with you. As soon as the coast is clear, Frey doesn't waste time taking us to some place where the shadows are aplenty, but lights are always twinkling. ¿Qué pasa? While we're still within the city, the Hamel village always feels like another little world in itself. Most of all... What are my cats? Oh, cariño. It's like, open the door, I want out. It's like, no, because then you're gonna start demanding to be let back inside immediately. Most of all, it's the perfect place for a quiet getaway, with Frey. Donning his mask, Frey keeps me close to his side as we stroll together to the bookstore. There's so many people around, but for once it doesn't seem to faze him. If anything, he's more fixated on us walking hand in hand together, never wanting it any other way. Heading inside, we don't need to follow the signs to head for the classic novels. Despite approaching his other love, Frey simply pulls me in closer as he reaches for the ornate copy of the picture of Dorian Gray. Do I dare? To read again or buy another copy? How do you know it was only one of those two options? What if I've never read it before? Nobody holds a book like that if they've never read it before. What, you mean like this? Setting the book aside, he slips his arms from behind and backs me into his chest for a snuggle. He's so... Ooh, I'm gonna squish him. Put this man in the blender. So, if I'm holding you this way, this just must mean you're also my favorite. Oh, now both cats are on the desk. Hola, cariño. ¿Qué? ¿Sawa? ¿Sí? ¿Quieres que te lo mueva? Ahí está. Okay. Now my other cat's like, oh, water? ¿Qué? She looks so confused. ¿Te lo muevo? It's water. Sawa. Mira, si tu hermano está ahí, sí. ¿Qué quieres? ¿Nos calmamos? ¿Nos hacemos? Okay. Okay, it seems you've calmed down. His voice rumbles seductively against my ears. He refuses to let go until I've taken everything of this moment. His scent, the need of his voice, and the sanctuary of his embrace. If these books could talk, I wonder how many of them would talk about this moment. And yet, their inability to do so is exactly why Frey prefers this corner. To hide away from the million faces and voices, when all he keeps asking for is mine. Turn around only to be greeted by his gentle laugh. Now that my arms are full, I don't think I'll be buying any books tonight. No, but wait, there is one thing. Keeping his head low, Frey covertly leads me over to the magazine section. Already I can tell he's scheming something, but he keeps quiet while running down each of the racks. It has to be here somewhere. I know I saw it the other day. Oh, here it is. Holding back a laugh, Frey is almost willing to ruin his own surprise just to lean in and tempt me with a kiss. Before he then slips a copy of this month's Far Bright magazine between us. Apparently, there's an article written here by one of my favorite journalists. Maybe you know them? Chuckling, he doesn't waste time shifting through the pages. Just look at him. He knows he's torturing me with this, but he loves it. I'm sure the only way I could wipe that smirk off his face is with a kiss. But every time I try to reach for his arm, he keeps teasingly shuffling away to keep reading. There's seriously so many good stories in here. There's also gossip, but nobody wants to read that garbage. You'd be surprised by how many monthly requests we get to write more of it. Well, considering this issue hardly has much of it, I commend your magazine for stomping its foot down. Now, if only somebody could get the Chatterbox Weekly to shut up, then I wouldn't be having to kiss you with this mask on. Here's the article I was looking for. He silently reads my work, his eyes widening in surprise. Turning to the next page, however, he soon grows serious before my very eyes. Is everything alright, Frey? Why wouldn't it be? Your writing is so exquisite. So expressive and honest, like a breath of fresh air. This article is even about another celebrity, but now you've got me wanting to check out more of their work and their art. I've always known you're a good writer, but there's a certain magic to truly seeing it for myself. Do you think I could have an autograph? I stopped, waiting for him to spin it into another joke, but he's serious. More than serious, if I'm being honest. There's so much passion in his gaze right now that he surely doesn't know what to do with all of it. Or does it? Or does he? With eyes locked on mine, Frey hands me the magazine. I always keep a copy of my favorite writers on a bookshelf just for them. So, please. I get to choose the message. I keep searching for a shred of sarcasm in his voice, but there's nothing here but admiration and desire. And I don't think it's just the desire to keep reading more of my articles. Knowing that it isn't seducing, to say the least. Now imagine if he tried asking me anything else at this moment. Well, if you want one. What is my cat doing? I swear to God, these cats are seeing demons. Well, if you want one, then I also get to choose the message. Here then. And since you have a chance... My voice is giving out on me already, oh no. And since you have a chance to read more of your writing. Trying not to blush, I finally take the magazine off his hands, as well as a pen from his work bag. My gaze flutters across all of these shelves until I notice him looking ahead to the other sections on science and technology. I'm sure he's expecting something cute, but if there's something I've been learning about Frey, is that his idea of cute is all his own. With that, I start to scribble a message for him. Amused, he tries to peer in for a closer look, but I teasingly push him away. Wait, not yet. I'm almost done. You've been writing a lot though, so... Come on, at least show me the first word. I promise I'm almost finished. Frey leans in, trying to steer me into submission, but I relent as I keep working on a gift he'll never forget. So impatient. Only because you know what you're doing to me right now. Just look at the way you're holding that pen. My god, this dude. Before I can cave into his seductive whispering, I finish off with my signature, then swiftly hand it back to him. Here, enjoy. I'm sure I will. Chuckling, Frey opens the book, and a smile fades. For my starry messenger, always inquisitive and searching for the world beyond. May you always shine as brightly as the stars, as you do in my heart. I don't deserve this. What are you saying? Of course you do, Frey. But it's beautiful. I was waiting for you to just call me your biggest fan, but this is surreal. I never thought I'd want to treasure a gift this much. Except there is one thing I treasure more than anything else right now. And that's you. After exchanging our magazines again, Frey can't resist running his hand along my signature. This is everything to me right now. Is it really? Well, not quite everything, but it's close. What more would you need? Our hands instantly gravitate to each other as Frey towers me by the display. With a single caress of my face, I can no longer hide what I know from him, but it's everything he wants too. Do you want to keep tonight going then? Because if you do, then I can't, I won't. I refuse to let you leave my side till morning. If his touch is already this warm, then I can only imagine what moments from now it'll be like once he has his hands woven through my hair, and his voice aching to let him complete me. Okay, okay. But that's only if we take this plunge together. I don't want either of us to be alone tonight, Frey. Altair. Because of you, I'm sure as hell won't be. Who knows how long it's been since we've been here. As long as dawn hasn't started peeking through the windows, I know that we're safe. For as much as I'm trying to keep my senses intact, Frey has a talent for unraveling me entirely. His kisses start off slow, then pick up with his movements. Intense and unbridled, beckoning me to relinquish everything to him. All it takes is meeting his gaze to know that even he's surprised by our awakening passion. This dude is so... Okay. Just a little more. Frey, my words are lost to another of his kisses, binding me to him once more. At this rate, who knows if he'll even want to stop past dawn. The only reason why I have to go is to have Perrault review my draft on the Stellifier piece. But right now, how can I think about anything else? My microphone. Stop moving away from me. Frey. Panting, Frey simply puts me to him, covering me against his strong body. If you keep saying my name like that, we're doing this again. Much as I like that, don't you think the others will be coming back soon? If they do, I suppose we'll have to be a little quieter. I'd agree with that if this wouldn't be a little too obvious for them to ignore. I know. Plus, I don't want anyone else seeing how beautiful you look right now. I shouldn't be so surprised that such an eloquent writer would still have a way with words even while I've got them underneath me. I suddenly get a little shy, only for him to chuckle against my shoulder, his voice rumbling against my warm skin. Don't be embarrassed, this is so perfect. With you, I feel like I could conquer anything. If I'm being honest, this is the most alive I've felt in a while. What about when you're with Stellifier? Well, it's a different kind of feeling with them. It always has been. Still holding me, Frey sings quietly to himself while gazing to the ceiling. Sorry, I'm struggling. On certain days, the feeling is there with them again. It's almost surreal how easy it feels to take a microphone and smile over at them and just be carefree. Then, on other nights, I start to wonder if it's only easy because it's a world I've known before. People tend to go back to familiar things, even if it's hurt them before. It's not Michael and Hawkins who hurt you though, isn't it? Well, one way or another, I think we're all prone to hurting the ones we care for the most, even if we don't intend to. In a way, we all kind of did make it tough on each other back then. There were days when I didn't want to perform, so they had to turn into the bad cops to pull me together so that we wouldn't miss a show. There were times when I wanted to tell them that what was holding me back, but I could tell that they had their own dreams to tend to, and mine felt paltry in comparison. It's why I turned to other people instead. So, you never talked with them about this? I've tried talking to them a couple of times, but when you know that other people are counting on you, do you really want to give them any chance of thinking you're going to bail on them? I can tell when even my own students are afraid to ask for more time on something, even if what they're asking for is reasonable. I know now that it's hardly a sign of weakness, but it's still uncomfortable. With a heavy sigh, Frey leans into me, our hands intertwined. Some days, I wonder if it's not too late to just go back to having only my students to mind over, or even just you. Cupping my face in his hands, Frey's touch alone is enough to elicit more than just desire. When he holds me like this, all I want is to take those memories away from him too. Whatever they are, whatever they're doing to hold him back. I don't know if I can do it alone, but his kisses drive me to want to try. For all the masks I've had to wear, I've yet to probably take off the one that should matter the most. Because I know if I do, there's a chance that I'll be giving my friends the answers they wouldn't want to hear. I'm gonna go with the third one. Don't let your heart like this, Frey. As much as you care about me, you care for Stellifier too. You three have a history that runs too far and too deep to just throw it all away. I don't want to either, but I don't know what kind of person I'll become after this. As much as Arden was trying to hype us up, all I could think about was how much more we'll have to give of ourselves before it's ever enough. Quite frankly, I don't know what I have left to give after making it to this point. Are you sure you aren't just telling yourself that now? Sitting up, it's my turn to take his face in my hands. Frey, please listen to me. You can't keep going on thinking that you're asking for too much. Hawkins and Michael might want something else, but it's not like they won't try to hear you out. If I was in your situation, wouldn't you still want to hear what I really wanted? Frey knows I'm talking, but all he can stare upon are my eyes as if they're precious jewels. Seriously, Altair, how do you even find me? Just by imagining what it's taken to bring us together would just about make me believe in anything. Then do you at least believe in what I'm saying? I'll think on it. Is that enough of a promise for you? Before I can answer, Frey tries to use my words with a kiss to my shoulder. He then burrows into my neck, searching for my grasp once more. Until soon enough, the only words being whispered between us are of love. What he can't say with words, he can surely say in other ways. But for once, I wish you to have a chance to shout them to the world. Better yet, if he could finally sing them once and for all, then maybe he'd find his freedom. Sitting before parole, the pressure only keeps mounting at every new page of my draft. I probably should have gotten more rest the past couple days, but at any chance that Frey was free, I was at the loft. I'd even written the last paragraph while wearing nothing but his shirt. Finally, Perel looks up with a nod. Honestly, this is great. It's classy, articulate, and you've clearly been checking some corners others have overlooked before. I'm especially looking forward to seeing what our readers will sing once they read about their brainstorming process. For as much curating as idols are put through, this is the kind of breath of fresh air that someone's looking for. Those homegrown roots, but with the finesse of having proper training. From everything you've written, their spirits seem quite intact even after this first brush with Frey. You really got that from my draft? It's some of your best work out there. I don't think their label will have any problem letting us run with this either. I slowly find myself smiling, realizing how far I've come as well. Things just happen to unfold differently from how I'd expected, but suddenly my own secrets feel even more worth keeping too. I'm sure Frey is going to want to celebrate the news, along with the others. Although, there is one more thing I have to do. So, is there anything you'd like for me to edit before I hand it over? Not at all. You might as well get ready to find a new story, because this is good to go. In that case, what if I've already found a new story to do? Oh, already? So what's it going to be? I know I just wrote about Stellifier, but there's something more I need to write about them that needs to be said. But this time, it needs to just be about their frontman, Frey. At once, Perrault folds her hands on her desk. Go on. Taking a deep breath, I try to let my heart carefully guide my words. It's about his double life. I know I've touched it in the article, but we have a chance to share more of his story with others. In a world where people are struggling to understand what it means to support their idols, we have a story here about a man whose talent and creativity hinges upon keeping one foot out of the entertainment industry and one on the outside. If I have gotten to know, or I suppose when he's teaching poetry and exploring bookstores for a new edition of his favorite novels. But he's also incomplete without getting his chance to write lyrics and take his crown on any stage. Well, that's a question. He knows his fellow members need him just as much as he needs them. But he also can't turn his back away from the lives he's touched on the outside. The sad part is, he thinks he lives in a world where for Stellifier to succeed, he'll have to give up on the other life he loves so dearly. So, the real question I have for the public is whether he even needs to choose between both worlds. Can't we embrace the fact that he'll want both lives if he stays with Stellifier after the Musica pricks? With that, Perrault sits back in her seat, her expression uncertain. Not until I notice a trace of a smile that I start to gather some hope, but she's still silent. Well, this is a lot to take in. I do think, however, that you're onto something quite intriguing. My one question would be, what is Frey really going to be for this story and the public? I don't think the first one's correct. I don't like the second one either. Honestly, I don't know. I think a flawed hero? They need to see a flawed hero. Right now, they think that the Frey on stage and the one in school are the superhero who can do no wrong. But what they don't realize is the amount of sacrifice and effort he's putting into making sure he never forsakes one role over the other. He really does sound like a superhero in that way. A mild-mannered professor by day, but a dashing idle prince by night, with a deep, dark secret. He's got to have broken a lot of hearts on the way, so have you any leads on those? I might need to tread extra carefully here. I don't want to be outing myself either. Well, there are a few leads, but I think the focus should be more on his career, right? Still be worth getting a complete perspective of him if we can manage it. Almost regret you not bringing the idea to me sooner, or else I would have greenlit it in a heartbeat. We could have run it as a double feature. So, does it change anything if I've already written it? Peralt's eyes suddenly go wide. What are you waiting for then? Send the draft over. We could have been reviewing it all this time to have it ready for next month's issue. Because really, if this could shake up the industry, there's something to be done. While part-time idols aren't a new thing, most of them are usually going to take up acting or hosting or wanting to go to be a professor. I think the readers will love the air of mystery and complexity to this man. More than anything, I just want him to know that maybe the industry should have room for someone like him. They weren't real good, but the conversation isn't going to go anywhere without us bringing it to the light. You should be very proud of yourself, Altair. You might have just guaranteed Stellifier's name in lights for a long time to come. As Perel received my draft, I let her get back to her review of my work. While I'm used to having my work regularly approved, it still feels like a dream. Maybe that's because it's not just a victory for me, but for Frey and Stellifier too. Now I really can't wait to see what she says. Too late to wait until we're in the studio, I rush over to the university right when Frey's class ends. To my luck, I arrive just as the last of the students are shuffling out, leaving only Frey to finish tacking reminders on his desk for next class. I excitedly knock on the door. Am I catching you at a bad time, Professor? I thought we could head to the studio together. You still have one last rehearsal tonight, right? At the sound of my voice, Frey looks over, then turns away. His sudden coolness takes me by complete surprise, especially when he proceeds to grab his bag to get ready to leave on his own. Frey, what's the matter? You tell me. What are you talking about? Is it about me meeting you here? I thought you told me it was fine as long as it was the last class of the day. You know that's not what I'm talking about. I'm sure you know by now already, but Lorelei called me earlier. She told me that Far Bright magazine was asking us to comment on another article, also written by you. The Starry Messenger, the true story of a part-time Prince Frey. Does that ring a bell at all? All that excitement that carried me here instantly disappears in a flash. Oh no, Pearl must have changed her mind to release it as a double feature. Frey, I had every intention to talk to you about this as soon as they greenlit the idea. I just didn't know they were going to move this quickly with this story. But you suggested it to them, didn't you? Or was this story in the works since the beginning? Laura told me the piece is supposed to be just on me. Tell me in what universe is that supposed to make me feel better? The piece is supposed to be in favor of you not having to choose either life, Frey. I don't know what Farbright told Lorelei about this article, but trust me when I say that I only came up with it to help you. If people at least hear your story, then maybe Stellifier won't have to make you choose to leave your teaching behind. Despite his expression softening, Frey still can't seem to pull himself away from his frustration. Shaking his head, he keeps lingering at the door, almost as if wishing he'd have the nerve to walk out. Ter, if you had the best intentions, would you at least try to understand why this could make things worse? Not even just for me, but for Stellifier. I said your first piece was supposed to be about our group's comeback. Now this other piece is out here trying to make me out like some kind of martyr when I'm not asking to become a symbol of anything again. I've been there before and completely destroyed who I thought I was then. All this time, I thought you knew that. I do, Frey. You know that I do. I wouldn't have written that article if I didn't think you needed to know how many people will be on your side if you simply choose your happiness first. Do you really think I haven't come to understand your pain? I... With a heavy sigh, Frey slumps his back on the nearest desk and gently reaches for my cheek. Hey, look at me. I don't want you to think that you did any of this maliciously. But I can't deny that a part of me is still hurt by all this. I thought I was going to have more time to tell you, Frey. I only gave my editor the first draft today. If you'd asked me beforehand what would have happened if I still said no to it. like either of these choices. Like, if he said no, I would have just not fucking given the draft. You know what? Between the two options, I think the second one's better. Of course, I wouldn't continue running with it. That said, I refuse to see the one I love think less of themselves. Stop myself before I even said, but the word flows so naturally off my lips. Even Frey goes silent for a moment, growing pensive. Just because I don't want to become a part of some big movement does not mean I think less of myself. What if I just want to keep things low-key? What if I think my music alone should be enough of a message to everybody else? You can still do all that while being able to share your story, Frey. But you have to admit that there's times where you insist that you have no business being in this industry when you might be the best kind of musician out there. The kind who actually puts thought into his work and doesn't want to feed into the machine. Stellifier as a whole was always meant to embody that, right? Even before Oracle came along. It did. But the thing is, there's no perfect way to live free of this system. If a guy like Arden can find a new label that lets him get married and do what he wants, that's not the norm. Nor do I think it might be for a long time, if ever. Wouldn't you want to at least try to change it? In a perfect world, it's possible that my story could have that kind of power. But what if after all this, people just think that I'm being selfish for wanting everything to go my way? To have Stellifier, my teaching, and you would be all I'd need. If I could have all that without the fame and the responsibility, I'd seize that life in a heartbeat. You really would want that? Of course, Altair. Earlier, I was hurt because I thought we were both willing to risk everything to stay together. I can't deny how much I care about you, but I've always told you how important your safety is also for me. What if this article only fuels people's suspicions about us? Or get people trying to make me out to be a martyr? I don't want them coming for you, not when you're mine to protect. And that's why you don't want me writing this article either. Noticing my expression, Frey is willing to finally come closer. Now, clasping my face, I can get a look at those piercing eyes of his and every bit of sorrow. Altair, I need you to ask me something right now. And if you want me to, I'll do it. I won't even hesitate if you ask me to. Wait, what are you? Just say it now and I'll leave this all behind if that's what it takes. Forget making me your story and just see me once and for all as a man. Your man. And if it goes through with this, then I'll have every chance to keep you away from this industry. What the fuck are the neighbors doing? Even my cats are like, what the fuck? What the fuck was... I don't know if my microphone picked that up, but that scared the shit out of me. Frey, do you realize what you're saying? You don't think I'm being serious right now? Altair, I know you love me. Not as some guy you've ever had on your poster, but for me, all of me. For the me who would rather hold you in a bookstore than to pose for photo shoots and hit up late night parties. For the me who'd rather stay in bed with you on our days off and never have to think of the world outside of us. Tell me that's the Frey you want, not the one up on stage, and he's all yours. His words are just about everything I've been wanting to hear, and yet they're slowly shattering something within me. Frey wants us to run away. Without fears, without consequences, without trying to think of what this all could have been. The two of us are as close to each other as we can by his desk as he waits for any sign of my answer. Altair, please just tell me now and I swear I'll do it for you. I don't know what to choose. I mean, it's fine. We're gonna do the good ending regardless. And if I fuck this up, I'll just go back and hide. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Frey, please, will you listen to yourself? If you say you love me, I can't be your excuse to let this all go. If you leave now, you're walking away from something you love just as much as you say you feel for me, and maybe even more. And what's that? It's your music, kind that you've always dreamt of making with your friends. Are you really going to let this dream fade away just like that? Some dreams come with a price, though. At some point, you think you're going into something with the purest intentions, until one day you wake up realizing that you've become the very thing that you always said you wouldn't become. When you proposed my story to your editor, didn't the same risk cross your mind too? If I left this industry, then you wouldn't have a reason to write about me anymore. There's no way I'd have to split my time from you or make you doubt that this world could ever change me again. If music is what I need to set aside for that, then I'll gladly accept a life away from the spotlights if it means not having to hide anymore. He makes me so sad. He makes me so sad. Frey, at least please think about this. I keep telling you to listen to your heart. I'll continue to keep saying it until you do. For all the excitement I once had coming to see him, I suddenly feel as if we're light years apart. The worst part about this is that this is like hitting me. This is like almost hitting me harder than like the Hagen ending bit, because this one's like they're actually communicating, you know? Like they're actually communicating with each other, like fully what the issue is. He doesn't hate me, but he also has so much weighing on his heart right now. And he knows that I do too. Frey, I just don't know if I can accept any decision you want to make right now about us. At least not without considering how you really feel about Stellifier. I know. No matter what I decide, there's still a concert just days away that I have to do. Promise me you won't forget how hard you've worked for this. If you don't believe me, trust in Michael and Hawkins. If you think they won't understand, something in my heart tells me that for how much you care for them, I know they will. With nothing else left to say, I decide to leave first, simply hoping my words will stay with him. God. Once Frey arrives at the studio, he only has a minute before his friends pop their heads up from the couch. Oi, we thought you'd be running late. Why do I get the feeling you're coming here early is a bad thing? Because you're not that far off from the truce. What's the matter? Did they give you a hard time for taking the next few days for the concert? That's not it either. Then what else could it be? At this rate, you'll have me thinking you got dumped or something. Wait! Hold it, Prince. Is it true? I can tell you're hesitating. Is it true then, Frey? Yes and no. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to break it off sooner than later. Everything's just a mess right now. And I'd be lying if I didn't say I regret half of what I told him. Are you gonna at least tell us who it is finally? Come on, Frey. We've been slowly piecing it together. So either you tell us who it is, or you'll have to suffer hearing our candidates. Starting with Abigail, am I right? For the last time, it's not her. Then, don't say it, Hawkins. Just skip to another one. Michael's like, Hawkins? Shh. Wait, but what if it really is her? Hawkins, baby boy. Okay, I know this is just because, like, of how the programming works, right? But I do think it's really funny that Frey literally said him. He said he said him, and Hawkins is like, what if it's her? It's like, oh, my baby. My silly. Frey, you're not seeing her, are you? I thought you two were forbidding seeing each other after that night, or did Oracle's rules expire too? What on earth would you make you think that I'm seeing Alyssa again? You really think I'm not willing to go there? Just for the record, you were the one who said her name, not me. You know, you could just tell us who it is, and we'll cut the assumptions out of the way. Fine. It's Altair. Michael, are you being serious? Bloody hell, I'd suspected it for a while, but then I actually thought I was seeing things the whole time. We're not pulling our legs, are you? Do you think I'd really choose to be sarcastic after you've just accused me of being with Alyssa? Well, if it's true, then thank heavens that the press has still got it. You're still a sneaky one, aren't you? The more I think about it, the more it makes sense between you two being fellow writers and all. Just, when were you waiting on having Michael and I give you both our blessings? Are we just going to forget that Altair is supposed to be a reporter? If it's love, then who's gonna stop the prince? You know, the day you fall for me, I'm not gonna stop you either. I love Hawkins so much. Oh, my silly. Michael's not amused. Frey, tell me you've at least been careful about anybody spotting you and Altair. I'd hate to think that any of this could compromise his reputation, too. For the most part, we've been careful. But then today, I found out about the other piece he's been working on for Farbright. Oh, wait, you mean he's writing another one for us? It's just supposed to be on me, apparently. Boyfriend privileges? I told him I didn't want anybody writing more about me than what should be in that Stellifier piece. But then he began telling me that he'd only done it because... Because what, Frey? Come on with it, mate. You already told us the useless part anyway. I told Altair that maybe I don't want to quit teaching after the concert. I see. Is this your way of telling us that you've already made up your mind? Yes and no. Before anything else, will you at least tell me how much of this is Altair's decision over yours? That's the thing. Altair doesn't think I should quit teaching either. But at the same time, he also doesn't think I should quit Stellifier. Well, you know we wouldn't want you to leave us, but Hawkins and I agreed that this was always going to be your choice to make. So why is it that I get the feeling that you still think we don't mean what we said? I'll tell you why. Because we have yet to clear the air, is that it? I thought we'd already done that the first night. We all said we were sorry for not being there for each other then when we needed. Sure, we did say those things then, but there's a whole lot more now to Stellifier than it was then. So let's just come out and say it. I'll start if you like. You resent us, don't you? I've never said that, Hawkins. But you do, Frey. It's always been there, and maybe because you think that I don't have a shred of regret for what happened that night either. Let me just tell you this then. That night, I thought you just didn't want to talk to me because I'd asked Chris to come along to the buffet instead of you. I left that night thinking that you and Michael were just going to study just as you always did. Except I decided to go last minute with you and Chris. Right. Now it's all coming back to me. So by the time we all were there, and with the party having started, but we know that we know now what Chris had told you about us not wanting anything to do with you. Stop, Hawkins. It was long before that. Remember back when we recorded Astronomer Sky? All it took was one lapse of stage fright for everyone to start wondering when I was going to leave. That once never came to mind, Frey. At least not for me. I know I said some stupid things then about that, but you weren't stupid. You saw right through me then. You were the only one who'd called me out on it, and rightfully so, and I resented you for it. Already I was beginning to realize that fame wasn't for me. I never asked for a fan club when I didn't know how to answer half of the about me questions. What is Frey's favorite color? Maybe once upon a time it might have been midnight blue or white, but now suddenly as the face of Stellifier, it's always going to be sapphire. What is Frey's idea of a dream date? What if it was just staying up and listening to the rain at night as opposed to the magazine insisting that I preferred a candlelight dinner and a shopping spree? By the end of it, do you know that I didn't even know which film I even liked? That I had to teach myself what kind of books I actually wanted to read as myself and not some icon? This Frey that people always keep talking about. I don't know who that guy is. The only one I know just wants to make music stripped away from all of this chaos. That the only thing you could judge me for is my skills, my vocals, and my damn soul. How could you think that we don't know what this is, that this is the real you? You want to know who's the Frey I know? Is the one who found me after my choir club meetings and asked me to visit the bookstore with him. Is the one who would study with me for our calculus exams until we only had hours before our next photo shoot. Is the one who would always have something sarcastic to say when the hairstylist tried to bleach our hair. Then we all regretted it later. The one I want to believe knows that once he's realized that he's run out of excuses, will finally admit that we have no intention to judge him. I'm even starting to believe that the only reason why you're so affronted by Altair pointing any of this out is because you know that now you have one more person who's growing to unconditionally love you. And it's a scary feeling, isn't it? It's nothing like I've experienced before. Now that I can believe. Michael just read him to filth. Me too. Me too, though. God. I know you've hidden your other relationships before, but if you're gonna tell us that the worst thing Altair can do is tell you to trust in us, then you two might as well have our blessings already. You can't possibly make it this easy. Of course we can, especially if we know it'll grind your gears that you can't push us away. I'm gonna say this again, Frey. Another day goes by when I don't think about what we all could have done differently. I know I wasn't in the right mind either to have picked up half of Chris's envy, but we also can't kid ourselves that we failed trying to convince each other that we're not so different from each other. If anything, I need you, mate, just like you need me. Oh, Hawkins. You complete me. You understand that, right? Just like the way Michael also completes me too in more ways than... Just stick to the point, Hawkins. Michael's just like, you not ruin this. Alright. Frey, we've both tried to look for mirages thinking they complete us before. Both times, they failed spectacularly. After all of the blood, sweat, and tears we've put into all of this, you really think Stellifier is just another mirage? You know, I wouldn't want it to be. I might have to stop doing Hawkins' voice. If I want to be able to do the rest of the ending. But I honestly still can't promise you that I've changed enough for all of these years to be willing to embrace what comes after the concert. Now with Altair, I don't even want to imagine what someone would do if they felt some kind of ownership over me. I swear I wouldn't go back there again. And you won't. You're not alone anymore, Frey. We're not supposed to come this far only to use each other to get to the top. If we'd wanted that, then we would have just stayed with Oracle. So, if I told you true that I wanted to still teach, well then, I'm not sure if we're ready for Michael's route. Well then, it's not ideal, but I'm sure it'll be a weird request in the long run. Hell, I'd rather take you needing to rework your schedule than to pretend that you're not destined for this. You really think that just anybody can put on a show like you can? If you want to teach, go for it. But if you're only teaching because you think that it'll be your fallback, then I'd rather you just tell me now if this can't work. Hawkins is right, Frey. I'm sure we can negotiate something with HQ0 in the long run. Maybe we won't always line up perfectly, but we can always try to fine-tune it. But I know this doesn't answer your concerns with fame. I just don't want my relationship put on blast, or someone hazing Altair for this. And dare I say it, but maybe he is onto something about you making your boundaries clear now more than ever. I'm sure some fans of Warden must have lost their marbles the day he announced he'd eloped, but he's a man with dreams, just like every one of us here. Don't forget Altair as well. Do you think any of this has helped you towards making a clearer decision, Frey? Well, I still need a bit more time. I think I've learned a lot more. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for never telling you how I felt back then and letting it get to where it did. Sorry not to look back at those days and remember how young we all were while trying to push each other out of the hole we thought we'd never be able to escape. Well, look at us now. Just like we wrote in Heaven Breaker. Torn but flying, we're finally alive. Right. There's still so many lyrics we never got to perform then. That's why the real fun is starting now. As far as Michael and I are concerned, you've got a whole road ahead to write to your heart's content. Anything you're willing to write, we'll have a fiery arrangement ready to go with it. This is his way of trying to sell you the dream. I've got to admit, it's getting pretty tempting. Huh, see? You know you want this just as badly as we do. And now that we know that you've got someone else besides us rooting for you, I'm sure it'll be a whole other rush showing them what you can do when you've combined all of your passions together. The beauty is that Altair already seems to have sensed that about you. That alone tells us that there's a whole lot more going on here, and we hope it'll be a good thing for the both of you. Now you're absolutely making this tempting. But I still need some time. Promise me you won't kill me for needing to wait until after the concert. We told you then, and we're telling you now. Just promise us that you won't keep this to yourself anymore, Otherwise, we'll have to burst into song and dance every time you insist that we don't love you, Frey. If that's what you need to hear, mate. You know I'm not afraid to use the L word on you. That depends if you're going to make me use it back on you. How about you save it for after the concert, for when it comes from the heart? You're really not that new kid in school anymore, you know that? Just like how Michael has ascended from choir angel to archangel at this point. Meanwhile, I have just gone further into the next level of hell, huh? Don't worry, we're doing all we can to pull you back up. Isn't that right, Frey? Are you sure we can't just bonk him into the 7th circle and leave him there? I dare you to try me. Now come on, we've got a show to rehearse for. So, royalty goes in first, and then the demons. Well then, Frey will have to be the first to go in. Now that we know he's been canoodling behind the scenes, he's so going in last. Not even I've been getting that busy lately. Those are all lies and you know it, Hawkins. Nah, you're now officially more sneaky than I am, you prince. If we don't need to rehearse, if we don't head to rehearsal, I have a feeling Arden will punt us all straight to the 7th circle, whether we like it or not. As long as we can blame this all on Hawkins, I'll accept my sentence. My jaw hurts. Ow. What it takes for you to choose us, then I'm game. Then I'm all game for it. All right then, let's roll. I forgot how long the endings are. Before I know it, the music of Prigs is now finally upon all of us. The entire city has been waiting for this moment, with signs and ads splashed across the streets for months to weeks to days of all 10 artists ready to make this a legendary night for music. Tonight is promising to be nothing short of a spectacle, but most of all, it's bound to be the night of promises and answers. Since that day, I've yet to see Frey. Aside from a short exchange of messages throughout the day, neither of us have brought ourselves to bring up what's truly on our minds. With the way we left things, I haven't found it right to ask if he's made any decisions yet. But after tonight, maybe we'll both know what's written in the stars for us. With tonight being the last I'll be carrying Stellifier from behind the scenes, I've been given access to the backstage. All day I've been mentally preparing to see Frey again, as well as Stellifier. Somehow I get the feeling that they might now know about us. Good fucking lord. So here's to knowing if that's actually a good or bad thing. As soon as I arrived at their section backstage, I met with 2 matching sets of grins. They're so embarrassing. Well, if it isn't our favorite journalist. Can you believe that it's really happening? Honestly, I'm still in shock at how incredible everything looks so far. Did they tell you that the show is also completely sold out? Oh, you're talking about the concert? And here I was talking about the fact that we might be in-laws in the future. Oh, so they do know. Before I can behind my face, Michael rushes in to try to playfully nudge Hawkins away. Hawkins, what did I tell you about not spooking Altair? Is that really the first thing you had to do? What can I say? I couldn't resist. I'm just sorry that the prince is a bit of a walking target for me, so I hope you'll get used to me clowning on his idea of romance. I just hope he actually lives up to the stories I've heard about him. Any chance you can confirm or deny those? Hawkins! What did I literally say just now? Hey, this is what you call a quality investigation. So, is there anything we need to know before we give our dearest son away for your hand in marriage? Speaking of which, where is that mad lad? How far behind was he from you? Huh? I came here alone. Wait, but I thought he said that... So he's not here? You've got to be kidding me. Michael turns to Hawkins, the two struggling not to lose their composure in front of me. We have to go tell Lorelei now. We're getting down to the minutes before it's showtime. Bloody hell, what is he thinking? If he was gonna run, couldn't he just pick up the damn phone and... Well, we don't quite know if he ran away yet. He could simply be running late, right? There's a lot of traffic coming this way to the concert, not to mention if maybe he had an emergency at the university. As much as I love your series, Your Highness, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that our boy has fled the building. Pulling a Cinderella, except instead of a glass slipper, is missing his glass ego. As soon as I find it, I might just want to break it myself. Calm down, Hawkins. Nothing good is going to come from throwing all reason out the window just yet. If this is really it, I do wish he could have just told us ahead. I can't imagine this is how Frey really wanted things to end. Did he say anything about this plan to you, Altair? To be honest, I'm just as much in the dark as the rest of you. Had I known, I would have... Altair, don't you dare start blaming yourself for any of this. And Michael said, if he was gonna run, then he'd probably been planning it long before. After everything we told him, is he seriously gonna take the coward's way out? Ray, you idiot. You really think this is gonna fix everything? Just grading papers, lost track of time. Hearing Hawkins uttering under his breath, I start to recognize my own frustrations. All this time, I thought if I gave Frey his space, he wouldn't have a reason to run. Now here we are, wonder if we really should have noticed the signs beforehand. But wait a minute. Looking out into the sea of performers, all dressed in their electric outfits and standing before their lavish sets, I'm beginning to understand why Frey questions his place under these lights. In a world where everyone's beauty, grace, and talent come aplenty, is there really any demand for a starry messenger? I'm sure that's what Frey's been asking himself all this time, but he has to know the answer, right? Every group here has their own story, with their simpler origins to their highs and lows against this ever-changing landscape. But out of all of the groups here, only Stellifier knows what it feels like to begin all over again. To make a clean break so they can finally be free. To map a new world for themselves that's completely unknown, but full of endless possibilities. That moment, my heart starts pounding in my chest, signaling me like a compass towards the door. Altair, where are you going? Don't ask me how or why, but I think I might know where Frey is. Before they can stop me any further, I rush straight for the exit, flashing my backstage pass wherever I need to along the way. The last thing I see behind me are Michael and Hawkins making their way towards Lorelei and Arden, both torn between awe and terror. For his sake, I hope you do find that prince. God, is it just me or is Altair too good for him? You better watch out or else I might just take him for myself. I mean, you already did. That was the first thing you did. But you already had your turn. Now that's one cycle I'm willing to bet Frey wouldn't let happen again. That's only if he makes it through tonight. I have cat fur in my mouse. I have a feeling that if we don't bong him first for this, maybe I'll turn Will. I'm telling you, he's a total keeper. Now let's just hope that he can bring him back before our slot's called up. So I told Michael and Hawkins there are just some things that have no business making any sense. And yet, this must be exactly what it means to be in love. I want to believe that what's led me all this way here to the Hamel village. Love. Love, and I believe that Frey isn't here to escape his past nor his present. Instead, he has to be here trying to find a way to change his future for the better. The village is teeming with its usual crowds, but I try not to let it deter me from searching across the line of stores and benches under our favorite twinkling lights. Once I approach the entrance to the bookstore, I can feel my heart practically at my throat as I wait for any chance to spot him heading inside. Please, Frey. My heart is telling me that this isn't the end, and what's really led me all the way here. Continue watching the bookstore, but with every second passing, my hope is slowly beginning to wane. Just the sight of the classic section from the windows brings to mind all of those cozy outings together. All those promises, all those clothes that he teased about buying. This is where you've always come to hide, Frey. So please, let me find you. Before I can let the last of my hope slip away, I finally turn on my heel and start walking past the bookstore. With a heavy heart, I can't bring myself to look back one last time, not without surrendering to tears. This can't be how it ends. This is the part where I'm supposed to find you, Frey. At that moment, I get ready to let a family of tourists pass me first to visit the bookstore, when on a bench far up ahead under the twinkling lights, I notice a man hunched over a notebook. He's wearing a dark coat, hat, and mask. He's not fooling me, and certainly not my heart. That has to be him, right? There's no way anybody else could ever be my stirring messenger. Wiping my tears away, I quietly approach the bench from behind, careful not to startle him. Once I'm within my proximity, my heart is doing somersaults inside my chest. Frey? Putting his pen down, Frey tilts his head to me as if expecting me this entire time. Let me guess, did they send you all the way here to kill me? The last one is really funny. I'm gonna go with the last one. I think it's really funny. It's probably not correct. We're not getting the good ending. I don't think we're getting the good ending anymore. Frey, is that all you have to say for yourself? Seriously, is this some kind of midlife crisis thing? Midlife crisis? Hey, I'm not that old. Besides, if it were a midlife crisis, I would have just made a plan to steal Hawkins' madame out of the garage, picked you up, and we would have ridden off into the sunset. Come to think of it, there's still technically time for us to do that. Are you crazy? You still haven't told me what this is all about. Hawkins and Michael are waiting for you at the Musica Prix. That they are, but I swear I'm almost done. While this is an midlife crisis, I've still been doing a lot of what you call introspective thinking. So, what you discover? What? Oh, okay. Okay. Bug. But I'm never going to end up doing exactly everything that I'm told. Chuckling, Frey presses his notebook to me. I'm sure the others will have a lot to say about this later, but I'm ready for it. Does this mean you're really going to miss the concert? Just read it, Altair. Read it, I'll have to hum it instead for you. Hum it? As soon as he says that, my gaze falls across the words scribbled on the sheet. Okay, I'm saving my voice but not reading the lyrics. Watching me read along, Frey soon joins me in a seductive melody. Frey, is this? I flip to the previous page where I finally spot the title, but Frey soon rumbles it against my ear. We'll find heaven together, my stardust butterfly. I wrote the original version shortly before our first live here on this very bench. Talking about it now, it almost feels like it never happened. but I still remember the joy of finishing these lyrics and thinking that I'd decoded some kind of hidden key to a secret world. This is also one of the songs you're supposed to be performing tonight, isn't it? I don't want to sing the version I'd written so long ago. It wouldn't even be a disservice to myself, but to Michael and Hawkins too. If you hadn't pushed back against me when you did, I don't know if I would have told them how I've really been feeling all this time. But along the way I realized that I'm the one who needs to truly let go of the past. So you came here to say goodbye to it. Maybe the old Frey didn't have all the answers then, but he still tried his best to preserve his smile and that of others. So for that, I'm finally willing to forgive him so that he can finally break past his chrysalis. Sitting hand in hand, we look on together across the glorious little village. Just being here together brings an ease to my heart, but it's when Frey smiles that I know that this is really a new beginning. I know I should have picked another day for this. Yeah. Maybe it's the poet in me that thinks there's no better time to do it than here and now. I don't want to remember this place nor this song as a testament to all the things I couldn't do in my first life as an idol altar. If I want things to be different this time, then I need to remember this place as a new beginning for everything. For my art, for my life, for Stellifier, and for us. His hand drifts to mine, and a smile perches on his face once I hold it. I know we don't have much time, but will you at least help me finish these lyrics before we go? Yeah, I think let's finish them together. Even with time slipping away, I can't ignore the passion clinging to Frey's voice when he returns to his lyrics. In space and time, oh, no wait, it should be coats of love. Squeezing his hand tightly, I can only hope that this time will be kind to both of us, just to make this moment last. Even before I've said it, Frey looks as if a weight has been relieved off of him. Okay, Frey, let's finish them together. Altair, my sanctuary. I promise you won't regret this, nor choosing me. What makes you think I already don't know that? While Frey sits back in surprise, I steal his pen and get to writing the new lyric on the line. Space and time, our voices carry the coats of love. A dreaming aurora of melting hearts forever wandering. I am reborn. In your labyrinths, my sanctuary. Did you come up with that just now? Don't act so surprised. In fact, you're better than any muse or inspiration. You're my butterfly. Clasping our hands together, we turn back to the lyrics with a newfound pride and love. So now it reads, I am reborn in your labyrinths, my sanctuary. Calling for the masters to guide this ivy dance. For my tears will cease your fears, and I know I must be brave. For I'm your messenger of eternity, my stardust butterfly. Ah, not so fast. I'm trying to write it all out. Setting my pen down, Frey captures me in a kiss instead, entrancing me with his impeccable melody. My butterfly, the stars couldn't take you away from me. Now I sit on my throne, waiting to let you seek eternity. Pulling back, he leaves me breathless while he sings for me, and only me. We'll find heaven together, my stardust butterfly. My butterfly, my sanctuary. Don't you ever fly away from me. Before this moment ends, I welcome more than just his embrace. Now there's no denying that his passionate melody slowly awakening between us is something that only the stars could have ever foretold. Now all that's left is for the world to see what our love has created under a spotlight. By the time we arrive backstage, the lights have already dimmed and the first act is already on stage. Hand in hand, we refuse to break from each other until Lorelei spots us through the darkness. Frey. It's a long story, but I'm sure we'll be scrutinizing this night for days to come. Well, at least you're here, and that's what matters, especially to them. The others are already on deck, so you'll need to get a move on. Without being told twice, Frey starts slipping his coat off and heads off to get changed. Meanwhile, Lorelei can't help but raise an eyebrow at me. Did I even ask how you found him? I suppose it must be a testament to your craft. And only that, right? She flashes a knowing smile before composing herself just as passes us by along with his group cyanide. I wish I had that for me right now. Fuck. So, where's your golden boy, Lorelei? I just heard that he went missing in broad daylight. I probably should have warned you that he has a tendency to do that. For all the chances Lorelei has to quit back, she simply leaves it to fate. Much to my surprise, fate comes in the form of a glorious-looking Frey stepping out of the station in his station outfit. Even in the darkness... Even in the darkness, the staff nearby all gasps as he sweeps his tousled hair back. So, how do I look? It takes me a second to realize that he's staringly asking Chris a question. Get his ass. Like the same pretty boy show-off I've always known. Glad to see you're still seizing, Chris. Well, some things are bound to change after tonight. You've clearly chosen to stay in your purgatory. So if you'll excuse me, I have a stage to get to. As soon as he's in this outfit, there's no stopping this Frey. Not even the pressure of being on stage seems to be taking a toll on him as he struts right past Chris to look for the rest of Stellifier. So, where are my feral stars? We're right here, mate. Hawkins is gonna hit this man over the head. I'll come right over here so I can wring your neck. Not now, Hawkins. You have my permission for after the concert. Fine, afterwards you're gonna be in for it, Prince Frey. Heh. How much convincing did it take you to come back to us? If you want an answer, then here it is. Without another word, Frey unfolds his sheet of lyrics and presses it to him. All it takes is a single glance out of Hawkins to raise his eyebrow in pleasant surprise. You're serious about this, Prince? This is brilliant. Downright brilliant. Do you really think so? I did have some help this time from a certain someone. Hawkins follows Frey's gaze over to me, then shares a laugh. Aw, of course. You're still as sappy as ever whenever you're in love, hmm? Well, if you're really serious about making the switch, then let's ride or die with it, alright? Grinning like a proud parent, Hawkins manages to flash the lyrics over to Michael. You don't even have to ask me twice to do so. You have them memorized, Frey? You can ask Altair yourself. Then that's all we need to know. You got 1 minute and we're on deck. Past the chaos of lights and music pulsing from the stage, all Frey can see standing before him are his two best friends urging him to kiss me one more time before it's showtime. Aww. Adrenaline kicking in, Frey strides his way back to me and elegantly reaches for my hand. I'm gonna be so sad if we got the neutral ending after all this. A butterfly? This is really it. You know I'm going to be spending every day reminding you that I wouldn't be here without you. Just don't forget, Frey. You've all worked incredibly for this. You have the honor to chronicle your story with the ending that awaits you all. That's been the experience of a lifetime. But it's been the experience meeting you that has finally made me believe in destiny. More than ever, I see your future clearly, Altair. And right after this, I'll have my answer for Stellifier too. So keep your eyes on me tonight. And if you lose sight of me, let my song bring you back to me. Obviously. Holding each other close, I still can't believe I'm looking upon a man whose melodies have touched hearts before and will do so much so once more. A man destined to wear many masks throughout his lifetime like the phases of the moon. But when I'm in his arms, the only person I'm seeing is himself. Every smile, freckle, and line, this is all Frey. I love you, my starry messenger. Just know that you'll always have it, so keep it close to your heart. You don't have to tell me twice. For every time you remind me that you love me, I've already been planning to love you twice as hard. For every morning we'll have, I'll be the first to remind you of your beauty, your wit, and your magic. And every night, I'll remind you of the passion you've awakened out of me. For a lifetime. What about while you're on tour? If I have to stay on the phone with you through the night, I will. And if both of us are busy until I'm back, then the reunion will be even sweeter. I'll have to keep you all to myself for every day we've missed. With our silent vow, Frey can no longer hold back from descending into me for a kiss. Oh. I'm like, oh, this is so cute, but I'm so waiting so tense for like the achievement to pop up that like snitches on me if this is the good or bad or neutral ending. You'll never go a day without my love, Altair. Because I love you, Altair. My butterfly, my sanctuary, we're going to be unstoppable. With one last kiss, we finally let go as Frey heads further into the backstage with the others. I watch as the three of them hold onto each other by the shoulders, huddling for one last time before the lights start to dim on stage and the stagehands are ready to start setting up. Also, if they do the singing thing, how many bets do we have going on that the face glitch is gonna happen? Alright, here goes nothing. This is what we started, and this is definitely only the beginning. Since you said it, now it's binding. Well, that also means that you two will be stuck with me, whether you like it or not. Trust us, Frey. We like you plenty enough to let this massive audience think you almost did just earlier. So, now you can never say we don't want you with us. Just remember, Stellifier has always meant to be three. And here now, it'll always stay as three. Yeah, fuck Chris. Fuck the motherfucker. So, should we start from the beginning? Sharing a grin, they finally head out together to get into position. Meanwhile, I remain backstage, trying my best to keep out of the way from the crew. It's hard to tell where Lorelei and Arden are in this chaos of a backstage, but at least I've got a perfect side view of Stellifier from here and from the monitor too. Stellifier is surrounded by shadows now, as multiple stagehands have swarmed the stage to ensure it's all ready for the countdown. Now set up, they wait in the darkness together for the opening video to play. The audience starts to stir in their seats, their glow sticks ready, when Stellifier's name suddenly sparkles all across the screens of this dazzling arena. And at once, the crowd awakens. Stellifier, this is going to be your moment. And it starts right now. Okay, I save my voice while they're singing. Check. While they're singing, I'm checking why I have like 5 pings. Who want me? Who wants me? Once the lights come on, it doesn't take long before each of them command this wealth of an audience yearning to reclaim their past. Of course, they were bound to start off with Ever Stellify. Their first song back from their school days, before Oracle and all that tore them once apart. Back to a purer time, when Frey's first love was music. Your voice. I don't know, I think I got lucky and I got the good ending, but I'm still waiting for that achievement to pop. With every drop of the beat, the crowd starts to go wild. No matter where he's spinning and moving, I can never lose sight of Frey. If anything, his powerful voice pierces through the noise like a divine god crying out for freedom. Because that's what tonight is all about. It's freedom. The freedom to love, to feel, to embrace the madness that is this world, or to write the stars again. Oh, my neck. The lights dim as the song ends, leaving the crowd suspended in a chorus of shock and wonder of what they just witnessed. Even I don't believe what I just witnessed. I've seen them rehearse this song countless times at this point. Can anybody even tell if they're the oldest idols out of this lineup anymore? I don't even think that's what they care about right now. Not to mention, it looks like they're getting ready to take them on the next ride. Panting, Stellifier shares a smile with each other before addressing the crowd. So is everybody ready to take another journey? The three of them share a laugh as the crowd shows no signs of settling down, or with the star party starting off at new heights. Do you think we should tell them about our little surprise then? At this point, how long has it been in the baking? Don't remind me, I'm pretty sure I still had blue hair. Some old Stellifier fans immediately set off in a cheer, drawing a chuckle at a Frey. I don't know better, I think that's them giving you their blessing to go back to blue hair. But isn't my hair perfect as it is already? Tossing his head back, he can't resist flashing a wicked grin out into the audience. And he says he's not a performer. Look at him. This man was born to entertain. Before we unveil our next song, I think it's only fair that we share why we chose to perform it. From the corner of his eye, he spots stagehands coming from both sides with 2 sets of instruments, a guitar for Michael and a synthesizer for Hawkins. To all of those who came here tonight wishing for this night to finally happen, just know that we couldn't have done all of this without you. For all those years we thought our voices would be lost to time, you've shown us how wrong we've been. So with this new era for Stellifier, we didn't just want to bring you a taste of our old sound that you fell in love with. We sought out to create a new sound for the Stellifier we know you're destined to fall for all over again. This time, we're doing this live. With both Michael and Hawkins ready with their instrument, Frey takes the center stage once and for all. A single spotlight falls over them as murmurs spread through the crowd, of whether there'll even be choreography in this next song or not. As when the crowd has reached total silence, Frey shares one last nod with Michael, then to Hawkins. Then finally, he glances over to me backstage, knowing that not only am I watching, but my heart is completely with him. At once, Hawkins commences yet another familiar rhythm, stirring the audience once more. Riffing off his rhythm, Michael follows with a delicate melody, but it's only a matter of time before they start to crescendo to meet Frey's resonating voice. God, please let this be the good end. At the first note, Frey's voice doesn't just have my heart in his grasp. Just the thought of us writing this piece together on that bench, letting just our hopes and dreams blend our passions into a plea for the future. Oh, my jaw. That voice. It doesn't just belong to any ordinary idol, nor a professor or a musician of the past, but to a starry messenger. My starry messenger. Facing the stage, Frey's voice breaks free from those chains once and for all as Stellifier takes flight. Blending with Michael and Hawkins' ethereal melodies, Frey unleashes a very cosmic storm of passion he can no longer cage within his heart. Despite being stripped of his usual princely stance and choreography, all he needs is the fire in his voice to command the audience to hear his plea out into the infinite night while letting the sorrows of his past crumble to ash behind him. Embracing their cries for their new prince to claim his throne, Frey reaches out for the skies as he carries his message to them. I keep staring at the corner of my screen like, come on, tell me I got the good ending, come on. Having accepted his Azure crown, Frey can help but hold on to those last lyrics for as long as he can, just so that we can sing it together. Oh. Is it good? Oh, okay. Are we good? Oh no. Watching Frey from the sidelines, I'm overcome with emotions of my own. There's nothing stopping him now from embracing everything he believes he's never worked hard enough to deserve. I just hope that tonight is enough of a testament for him to never forget that. Song after song, Stellifier's slot continues to be the party this audience has been waiting for. Between the songs they've gone up with and the new ones they'll be sounding off across the city, the audience is here for all of them. Most of all, there's no denying that Frey has captured their hearts all over again. By the time they reach their finale, Frey has no other choice but to take a bow once with Stellifier, and one of his own. Please let it be the good ending. Thank you for coming along with us on this ride, everyone. We promise you that we have so much more to show you all soon. Lastly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for never giving up on us. Oh my god, I've almost drank all of the water I have. Basking under lights and applause, Stellifier can't help but rush to each other's sides. For all the times they didn't think they weren't strong enough friends for this. Just look at them now. They cling on to each other even as they make their way off stage. Choking a laugh, Frey can't help but embrace each one of them. God, what a rush. I forgot how crazy it gets out there. But we pulled it together. I'm surprised you found your wings even before Michael and I found ours after ever Stellify. Well, I wouldn't have done this without either of you. I'm pretty sure I've won the lottery when it comes to doing this with the best people I know. Through friends who never gave up on me, even when I almost did. But of course, that's what we're here for. That's why Stellifier will always truly be three. Three for life, mates. At this rate, we're gonna conquer the world. Sharing one last embrace with them, we soon break off just to let Frey race towards me. Even before I have my congratulations ready for him, Frey picks me up and spins me in his arms. My Stardust Butterfly, I love you so much. And I'll love you just as much. It sounded like the audience loved the new version of Stardust Butterfly, with our lyrics. Oh, that's one thing I never doubted was going to be a hit. Just knowing that we'll have many more chances to write lyrics soon. Who knows? Maybe we should get started on some more tonight. Okay, boy. Calm down. Calm down. His seductive voice purrs against me while my hands instinctively rest onto his shoulders. Frey, you're going to get us caught. Unless you've now changed your mind about that now too. Never. After all this, I still want my privacy with you. But for right now, let's just enjoy this moment for a while it lasts. And then we'll think about tomorrow. As we launch into each other's arms, Hawkins and Michael come running up behind us to join the love fest. Okay, fine. I'm gonna be the first to say it here and now. Stellifier might now have to become 4. Well, there's an idea I'd be more than happy to endorse. I'll only go for it as long as Hawkins agrees that it'll tear us off limits. You don't have to worry about that. Terry will probably eat me for breakfast if I ever try taking him away from you. Okay. But on the other hand, what about if I took him away from you, Altair? Don't underestimate my pen. Does this mean that we've come to a unanimous decision? Sharing in their bliss, I can't help but see my own future in each of their eyes. And just like them, I'm ready to embrace whatever comes for tomorrow. Guys, I think this... They are, exactly. It's just they have to make sure people understand. But also, guys, I think we have the good ending. I think this might be the good ending. I haven't gotten the achievement thingy yet, but I think this might be the good ending. The neutral ending doesn't last as long. Well, several months have passed. Yeah, this is the good ending. This is the good ending. This is good. Oh, yes. This means I can just speed run the choices now. Just make sure I don't choose the same things I chose the first time. While several months have passed since the music of Prague's Stellifier's begins, still feels like it only happened yesterday. That is, until I come across an ad for Stellifier's upcoming album online, or playing above the city square. I was even surprised to see a poster of it hanging in the Far Bright magazine office the other day. These old fans keep coming out of the woodwork. It's been mesmerizing watching them blend in with the new fans who seem to embrace Stellifier's signature sound. On some days, their songs capture the essence of a decades-old electric party that seems to never end. Then on other days, they're exploring new sounds and rhythms that sound like the echoes of a future that's eagerly waiting for us. And the public loves them all. For all the spotlights and glamorous days abound, there's one thing that I could never grow tired of was Frey. Spotting me trying to read my book, Frey slips his mask down to distract me with a kiss. At least read the Decameron first. That way I'll have a better excuse to have you visit my classroom again. You're not going to try quizzing me like you did with the Odyssey, are you? I already have enough to be working on as it is between my articles and our lyric sections. In that case, no Decameron for you. I'm not about to cut into our lyrics time, especially when we have one scheduled for later tonight. He invites me in with a grin, knowing well that he's playing with fire in a bookstore of all places. Right, one of these days we might end up on the Chatterbox Weekly. I'm still surprised that we haven't. Well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that we're just way too obvious for anybody to think it's been us the entire time. You must think you're so proud of trying that reverse psychology on the public. Oh, he's so cute! Oh, he's so cute! Oh, he's so pretty! He's so pretty! Somehow it's working, isn't it? Also, this is definitely the good ending. You don't get a CG in the neutral. In either case, you're stuck with me anyway. Because I love you. Haven't I already been sentenced to that fate months ago? You know, when a certain prince escaped from his castle just to catch his stardust butterfly? Now that sounds like a fairy tale in the making, don't you think? Or maybe another album in itself, the more I think about it. It does have all the makings of a classic story. A prince locked in his castle searching for his spark. A butterfly that wanders freely into his clutches only to teach him the true meaning of freedom. Throwing up books aside, we find ourselves musing in our own little book corner of love. Wrapping his arms around me, Frey hums softly into my neck, drifting between lyrics of each and every song we have yet to release, but will be very soon. I'm so happy we got the good ending first try. Now I can just speed run the neutral ending until we get to a part that's different. Lost in my gaze, Frey bears no disguise from me once he has me in his grasp, and his kiss. For nothing can stop this starry messenger from seeking the stars, his art, or my love. Yippee! Yippee! I'm so happy! I'm so happy!
Hey, babe. When will you be home?
Just about to leave the office?
Yes, I'm driving. But I was just hit with inspiration while thinking of our night last night. Oh, of course you are. Oh, I can't wait for you to hear this song. I love you so much.
Do we have anything? No. Sorry. Sorry. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that. I'm sorry, I was not expecting that. I'm so sorry, I was not expecting. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and speed run and see what's different for the neutral. See, we chose this one first. We know that's a good thing. If anyone's curious about what the other choices are, you can either wait for me to replay this eventually, maybe in December, or you can just get the game yourself and play it yourself. Okay, cool. I feel bad choosing all of the bad choices. I still love that the midlife crisis one was a good choice. Okay, now I have to click through and see you get to okay, so far it's the same as a good ending. Okay, still. It'll probably be towards the end of the song. Like once we finish this song section, it'll be like when it like splits off. I'm so happy we got the good ending first. I'm so happy. Oh my god. Also, that picture, I genuinely was not expecting that. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay. Still the same. I don't. If I remember correctly, when I did Hawkins saying, like, the neutral ending does have, like, a significant difference in the writing. When it's meant to when it's meant to, like, split off from the good ending. Or, like, the good ending's meant to split off. Is this new? I think. Hold on. I think this might be new, actually. Oh, that's my bad. Facing the stage, Frey's voice breaks from those chains once and for all, as Stellifier takes flight. Blending with Michael and Hawkins' in serial melodies, Frey unleashes a very cosmic storm of passion he can no longer cage within his heart. Despite being stripped of his usually princely stance and choreography, all he needs is the fire in his voice to command the audience to hear his plea out into the infinite night, while letting the sorrows of his past crumble to ash behind him. Embracing their cries for their new prince to claim his throne, Frey reaches out for the skies to carry his message for them. Okay, yeah, that was new. So we're into the... Was it new? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sorry, that picture of Frey completely just wiped my memory. Having accepted his Asura crown, Frey can help but hold on to those last lyrics for as long as he can, just so that we can sing it together. Okay, no, this... We definitely had that. Okay, this is new. Sorry, that picture really took me out. Watching Frey from the sidelines, I'm overcome with emotions of my own. There's nothing stopping him now from embracing everything he believes he's never worked hard enough to deserve. I just hope that tonight is enough of a testament for him to never forget that. Song after song, Stellifier's Lot continues to be the party this audience has been waiting for. Between the songs they've gone up with and the new ones they'll be sounding off across the city, the audience is here for all of them. Most of all, there's no denying that Frey has captured their hearts all over again. By the time they reach their finale, Frey has no other choice but to take a bow once with Stellifier on one of his own. Heh, and you said you were too rusty for this. Just hear them, Prince. They've been waiting for this moment just as much as we've been. So tell me, how are you gonna beat the princely allegations now? Well, at this point, I don't think they'd even let me leave. Despite the rush still surging through his veins, his own words break his focus for a moment, as if realizing what he's truly said. A million faces, a million voices, all thinking they know me. Nah, mate, you've inspired them. Michael's facing me was like, no, no. Come on, don't lose yourself to the words. Just embrace this for what it is. Frey tries to listen to him, but just as quickly as he took the stage, he's already leaving first. I like the good ending. I don't like the neutral ending. Like, the neutral ending with Hawkins is like, okay, we just don't really get together, basically. This feels like Frey is, like, continues to doubt himself. I feel bad for him. While Michael and Hawkins stay back to thank the crowd, Frey pushes past everybody until he's found me. Altair, just as I'm about to congratulate him, I realize he's shaking. Panting, he continues to stare between me and the stage, since Hawkins and Michael are now beginning to make their way to us. Frey, what's the matter? Don't you hear the audience out there? They love you. Not in the way I need you to love me. I feel so bad for choosing the bad stuff. But we had to see the neutral ending. The completionist in me wouldn't let me do anything else. You know what I mean, Frey. Seriously, it's going to be okay. As I embrace him tightly, both Hawkins and Michael rest a hand on his shoulder. Whatever you're afraid of right now, Frey, don't be. Remember what we all talked about before. We're not here to repeat history again. You have us. You have Altair. I know all that. I just... it's still going to take some getting used to. Then let us help you, Prince. While you don't need any help getting on the show, at least let us help you backstage. This is your chance to let us in. Hawkins is right. For all the times we failed to be there for each other, this is your chance. So give us your fears, and just rake in the happiness. Still trembling, Frey soon drifts his gaze back to me, waiting for one last assurance. Taking his hand, I gently bring my lips to his in a whisper. You have every right to happiness, Frey. No matter what happens tomorrow, just know that you're not alone anymore. Between all three of us holding him up, Frey looks onto the stage one more time like a prince sizing up the beast he's about to battle against for many days to come. But for every battle waiting for him ahead, one thing's for sure. As long as he has me and Stellifier, he'll surely find his path to the stars. Okay, it's not as bad as I was seeing it come to. So it's a bit better than I was witnessing it become, but still, this is... Oh, my booby, my pookie. And that's the neutral ending, so that means that the next time we're back with Stellifier, we will do Michael's ending. Let me quickly skip this. So, yeah. Next one we... Anyways. Yeah. Next one we will do Michael. However, as I mentioned previously, I will be taking a small break from Stellifier because there's a few visual novels I want to check. Let me double check my calendar. Because if I calculated right, we should be back to Stellifier. Yeah. Okay. We'll be back with Stellifier in April. So first week of April, I believe it should be the 2nd of April. We will return with Stellifier and we will do Michael's Route. For right now, next week and the week after, we will be checking 2 different demos for visual novels, which are both Yuri, which I'm very excited for. Other than that, this week I have confirmed that there will be a Cult of the Lamb stream on Saturday. However, I'm not confirming any other streams this week. And the same goes for next week, other than the visual novel stream and the Cult of the Lamb stream. If I do any other streams, such as art or the Bottom Corporation, I will put up a waiting room for that, and I will notify on Blue Sky and Twitter. But yeah, I'm kind of really busy this month. For anyone unaware, I have to finish a game by the 30th of March. So yeah, I'm kind of busy with that. And I usually only have like these hours as complete free time, so kind of don't want to use them up when I could be programming, you know? But yeah, soon as I'm done with that, soon as my like schedule settles down again, we'll start getting back into regular streaming times. But yeah, I do hope to be able to at least keep the visual novel times on Wednesdays and the Cult of the Lamb on Saturday. As always, if something happens last second, the waiting rooms will reflect that, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, having said that, as said, we will do Michael's Route on the 2nd of April. And next week, we will be checking out a new visual novel. I believe, if I remember correctly, it's called Love Curse or something like that. But yeah, we'll be checking that out. And with all that said, thank you for coming. Leave a like, subscribe, all those things. You've been on YouTube, you know how it works. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Bye bye.